Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Stop trying to wear your new stuff. You try to distract me, all of a sudden you want to come out with your new ensemble.
Sharp.
It's not going to work.
Thank you, Jenny.
No, it's not. I'm
You're
sharp.
on every day. I'm going to wear a new suit. Now, I'll just discard them. I'll just wear them one time. How about that?
Shannon.
That's big time.
Yo, you feeling good about
This
yourself?
is like LeBron-esque.
No,
Yes.
Huh?
I'm LeBron.
Are you?
Yeah.
You wish.
How are you?
I'm kind of thinking you more mellow.
Yeah? Oh, thanks.
Okay.
Speaking of mellow,
So, yeah, we've got a lot to get to. We are going to talk about plenty today. Can anyone explain what the Lakers are doing? And can anyone stop a Warriors three-peat? But, hey, let's start with Dwayne Wade. Your guy LeBron, he was there last night.
Yes.
He played his final NBA game last night, and he had an all-star crew in the front row to watch. Wade's best friends, LeBron, Carmelo, and CP3 were all on hand, and he put on a show, finishing with 25 points and a triple-double. Wade ends his career as the Heat's all-time leader in games, points, assists, and steals, and here he is after the game.
To be able to go out here and understand that my last game, I wanted to be about my teammates as much as possible, be able to pass the ball, get a triple-double, all those things. So I accomplished that. I couldn't have asked for anything more. Obviously, people say, yeah, I asked to get in the playoffs and all that.
Welcome back, LeBron.
Skip, what was your takeaway from last night?
don't get me started by that.
On that?
Stop it,
last
Skip.
thing. I'll get to that
We'll
in a
get to
moment,
it.
but that's the subplot to last night
Okay.
because the marquee said Dwayne Wade's last hurrah. And what stunned me was that I found last night for Dwayne Wade even more emotional and legendary and memorable than his Tuesday night home finale.
Interesting.
And it had a lot to do with his banana boat best friends being there. But seriously, the love this man generates from sea to shining sea is unparalleled.
Yes.
I got to go back to Magic Johnson, who at the end, after his HIV, and he bounced back, but he retired and unretired and retired. And so there wasn't like one last going away moment for Magic, right? But has anyone in this league, this is way beyond Michael Jordan or Kobe because they were both divisive in their own ways. They had lovers and haters and it was split. But this man has, help me out here, am I missing something? Only love?
True to that, Skip. But Michael, we never knew when he was going to retire. At the,
okay, that's
the first
fair.
one, he walked away.
That's
The second
fair.
one, he walked away, and then
Okay, all right, that's fair. And we knew when Kobe was going to retire, but he had his body just betrayed him so badly over the last 3 years. But he had one last shootout hurrah, 60, what was 61?
60.
60,
that one.
yeah, okay. But still, it wasn't like this. And yet, as happy as I was for Dwayne, it was such a happy, sad night for Carmelo Anthony. And that's what got me the most. I was so conflicted and torn over Carmelo. Look, I love Carmelo, and I know I can't back up his career as all-time great because what he is in the playoffs, he was 25 and 47. He did win one scoring title. He made a whole bunch of all-star teams. He made 6 all-NBA teams, though never first team. Is he all-time great? I don't even know where I would rank him, but he has greatness about him. He had great presence, and yet the last game he played was way back in November, on November the 8th for the Houston Rockets, and I think that was it for Carmelo. And it was significant to me. The first man that Dwayne thanked in his last interview with the Miami Heat Network and Jason Jackson, the first man he thanked was Carmelo. He said, I wouldn't be here without him. And I didn't know it goes that deep. It sounds like he and Carmelo are the closest of all of those guys, of the 4 of them. So to me, I felt sorry for him because Carmelo deserves some going away party, and I don't think he's going to get one.
No.
So, will he?
No.
And again, I can't defend a lot of things that went wrong at the end. I can't. But I just, he did win a college championship at Syracuse. He led them as a freshman to the title, and he just had a presence about him. Even Kobe said, the hardest to guard for me was Carmelo in the low post because he was just a bull,
He
man.
was. He
okay?
was special.
All right. So now back to Dwayne's final night. How did he eclipse Tuesday night? Well, last night was a microcosm of his whole career because the final irony was at home in Miami, he tried to do one last leap up on the scores table.
Right.
And he either doesn't quite have the lift or he mistimed his jump. But as he immediately said, this is tragic.
Yeah.
And he meant literally tragic because I think he really hurt his knee on Tuesday night. It sounded like surgery hurt his knee.
Well, it sounded like this is why I'm retiring.
Okay, but he hurt it so badly that all night long going into yesterday, he didn't think he could play. Spoelstra said after the game, I saw him on the scores table, and I thought he was out. Mm-hmm. And he summoned one last hurrah.
Right.
How did he that's his whole career.
Yes.
He had to keep overcoming two bad knees. Mm-hmm. We talked yesterday. He had the old surgery, the prehistoric, got to cut you open surgery on both knees when he was at Marquette.
Right.
And I don't think with the bone on bone and trying to regenerate some cartilage, I don't think it ever got very right. Mm-hmm. So he had to play the last, maybe 8-10 years of his career fighting two bad knees.
Right.
And last night he had to fight them one last time. And what was his goal last night? Not to score 60, because that's not how he played basketball. He wanted a triple-double.
Right.
Because it's more of a team stat because you got to get the 10 assists.
You must be really unselfish.
Okay? Okay? So that's how he played. I let the game come to me, and he didn't shoot the ball that well last night, but he went up with 25 points, and then he apologized right out of the box after the game. I didn't want to have to shoot this many times. I looked it up. He shot 28 times. It's been 4.5 years since he took 28 shots in a game.
Right.
So that made him uncomfortable. But finally, his brother, Udonis, converted the jump shot.
Hitting.
Yeah. How great is that?
They came in together, same draft.
Okay. Can I script that in Hollywood?
Nope.
Would you buy it? You wouldn't buy it. You'd
Nope.
say, that doesn't end like that. That's like a corny, cheesy Hollywood sports movie. That's why I don't like sports movies. But I love the reality of this.
Yeah, because the sports movie, you already know how the ending's going to be because you probably know the plot behind it.
Okay, but it's just so silly. Yeah. But in this case, it was real.
Yes.
And UD converted and Dwayne converted a triple-double. Mm-hmm. And he went out with the one stat that he shot for. And then it was so cool that those guys all went out of their way to be there for him.
Right.
And then I heard Jason Jackson say later on the Heat Network that they had a big party planned, a rooftop celebration somewhere in Manhattan, and it was a disco night. So it's like a blast from the past,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Love it.
All right. So in the end, what a great way to go out. And in sort of a poignant way, I think Carmelo got one last. He sort of shared the spotlight, and that's the closest he's going to get to having his night.
Yeah, and you're glad he didn't shoot that ball, aren't you?
Well, okay.
Because he thought about it, he said no.
He started.
But if I shoot an air ball, everybody gonna say, see?
They would.
That's why.
They
he
would.
did it right, they just passed it off.
I would agree with that.
We'll never know what would or would not have happened.
Yep.
Skip, for me, looking at D. Wade, his last game, I think it sums up who he is and what he was about his entire career. Triple-double is really about unselfishness because you got to, as you said, in order to get it, you must assist the basketball. Mm-hmm. And guys got to make shots. So he went into the game saying, I want to show who I am my last time out. Got him a triple-dub. I was very excited to see that. You mentioned D. Wade hadn't shot the ball 28 times in 4.5 years. James Harden shot the ball 28 times 4.5 days ago. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there.
And he probably shot it 30 times 2 days before that.
Skip, you know what? Here's the thing. And I understand that your outpouring of support and you get emotional when you talk about Carmelo Anthony because he's one of the gifted scorers in all of NBA history.
He
but
was.
The difference between him, Carmelo, CP3, D. Wade, I'll get to LeBron in a minute, is that those guys, CP3 and D. Wade, was willing to change their game. D. Wade, when LeBron got there, says, I'm willing because he had the ball in his hands all the time before LeBron got there.
Yep.
He was willing to give the ball up, play off the ball, and later in his career, accept the role coming off the bench. CP3, his entire career until he got to Houston, was ball dominant. He was willing to accept the role in which he plays off the ball, and James Harden has the ball in his hand.
And it nearly worked last year until he pulled his hamstring.
Right. Tell me the time, tell me the game, and tell me the year in which Carmelo Anthony was willing to change his game. He's a scorer. He's ball dominant, and he was unwilling to change. D Wade says, I'll come off the bench. D Wade says, okay, LeBron, go ahead and take it over. CP3 says, James, you need the ball more than I do. Go ahead, facilitate.
Yep.
And he can't get a day, Skip. Okay, who's going to give him the day? Now, Knicks might have a Carmelo or Anthony day.
They might have a day, but he's not going to be able to play.
No.
Yeah.
No, but he's not going to get what D Wade got because you go for the Nuggets, and then you force your way to the Knicks, and then the last couple of years with he and Phil Jackson going back and forth, and then you go to OKC, and then you go to the Rockets, and you spend 2 days in Atlanta, and you spend a day in Chicago.
What a sad
You can't
way.
get no.
Tough end.
You can't get no farewell tour. But what makes this so special? Everybody can't get it. Paul Pierce didn't get no farewell tour, and he got so upset. Remember, he was sitting on the bench, and Draymond was. They don't love you like Kobe. You ain't getting no tour. Sit over there and be quiet.
He got kind of a mock tour.
Yeah, exactly.
like-
But that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. This is reserved for a special type of guy.
It is.
And D Wade is a very, very special type of guy. Now, and everybody keeps saying all these. You hear all these guys. Oh, Carmelo can still play. I believe he can, but not the role that he played for the previous 14, 15 years. If he's willing to change and say, you know what, I can come off the bench. Okay, I can pass the ball, Skip.
I just don't think anybody's going to trust that.
No. In 16 years, Skip, he has 2 triple-doubles. He has 6 games in 16 years in which you had double-digit assists. For a guy that is that ball dominant, had the ball in his hands, and to have 6 games in which you have double-digit assists.
And what did George Karl once tell me when he was coaching Carmelo and Iverson in Denver?
He
said he could average 10 assists a night if he put his mind to it. If that was his mindset going in, he's that gifted of a passer.
Right.
He's that gifted of just a basketball
Right.
player. But he didn't want to be LeBron.
No.
He didn't want to be Dwayne.
Because you know why, Skip? What got the credit? What got the adulation? The Michael Jordan put the ball in the hoop. The Kobe Bryant put the ball in the hoop. So he saw that. And the guys that have always put the ball in the hoop always got more praise than the guys that dished it off. Magic was dishing it off, leading the league in assists, so was Stockton. But it was Jordan, the highlights. Jason Kidd leading the league in assists, but it was Kobe flying through the air. So Carmelo says, well, hold on. Wow, if I put the ball in the basket, because we love scores, Skip. It's the flash, the pizzazz in which okay, I get it, the no look, but ain't nothing like pulling up from 30. There's nothing like putting a move on somebody and finishing at the rim, all that Michael Jordan going through the air, tongue hanging out his mouth. And Carmelo still, and he's looking at LeBron. He's like, LeBron still get to shoot the ball 20 times a game. LeBron hadn't had to change his game. Why must I change mine? Because you're not that same scorer. If you can still give people 27, 30 points, because Carmelo led the league in scoring one year. If you can still do that, but in order for him to play his best basketball, Skip, he needs the ball in his hand, ball doesn't move, and he needs 25 shots. And the way the game is played now, unless you're James Harden, you're not getting that.
The other thing I cannot defend in Carmelo's case is over the last 8-10 years, LeBron continued to take better and better care of himself, and Carmelo just didn't.
Right.
And it really cost him because he never looked the part after he got away with it for 5 or 6 years.
Because you're young.
And you can't keep getting away with it.
No.
Do it when you're young.
And I don't feel sorry for him because of the money he made, because he made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
He was a max player all the way through.
Right.
And from all I read, he became quite the New York City entrepreneur and invested very wisely and shrewdly. So he's good to go there. But, you know, there's going to be a hole in his heart there where he didn't get to finish the way at least one of his banana boat partners did.
Yeah.
And LeBron will finish, I assume, greatly. And I don't know about Chris yet. I'm still not sure about
And
his
he's only been to one Western Conference Finals, and he went there
In Denver.
when he had Chauncey. Yeah, Chauncey and Kenyon Martin.
Yep.
Has a lot of talent around him, but he didn't want to be there anymore, and he forced his way out of Denver. But Skip, he's not going to get a tour like D Wade. And the thing is, these tours are supposed to be special for a select type of player. Because if every player that's retiring that played 15, 16 years got this, what's special about it? So D Wade deserved a moment like this. It was great to see him and listening at him talk. But Skip, before I go to see all his guys. These guys are sincere. They're very close.
It's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and I get it, well, Michael Jordan wouldn't have showed up for Magic, and Magic wouldn't, but it was different times. These guys are close. These guys do things together as their wives. They go on vacation together. Maybe Jordan, all he did was play golf and gamble with the guys.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all he did. Okay, that's fine with that. But I'm cool with this too, because I can tell you what, when they stepped on the floor, they forgot. LeBron, oh, that's Chris Paul? Oh, let me dunk on your head. Oh, D-Wade, let me put this 40-piece on you. That's the way they approach it. I got no problem with that, Skip. But for them to take time out and to travel all the way across the country.
Big deal.
And what was so fitting is that if you remember, Skip, when they would win games in Miami Heat, what would they do? Photobomb everybody. You remember Chris Bosh would come in with his long neck and he'd start sneaking across and he'd look at the camera. And then LeBron would come in with that famous one. That
That goofy grin?
Yeah.
I can't even do it.
I can't
It
do it
doesn't.
either. It's
And so,
skill.
So that and I'm sure that meant a lot to D-Wade. That meant a lot to him to have those guys there, and for him to do that, and for Brooklyn at the Barclays, for them to give him that kind of ovation, to give him that kind of salute one last time, was very fitting.
It was. You had me until the last LeBron point about photobombing.
Hey, you photobombed it.
There was just one night when LeBron needed to stay in the
No,
background.
no.
He tried to upstage
No, he
Dwayne
didn't.
Wade on his night, and it just didn't work for me. Just one time, that's his time. This is his last interview on the Miami Heat Network with Jason Jackson, who's his guy.
Yep.
And you don't need to disrupt it. You don't need to distract from it. You don't need to remind everybody, I'm LeBron and I'm still here. I'm not in the playoffs, but I'm still here, right?
I think D-Wade would have been upset
He
had
would
he not done
That
it.
is false.
Yeah, he like,
you
I need.
know it's false.
He probably like, well, where's CB at? I need, Chris to come in and
Chris
get.
photobomb? No.
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 That's not their ritual.
Oh,
That's what they did in Miami. Skip, you know it too, Skip. And normally,
Okay, it is, and it's a fair point, but it's a wrong point because last night was his night to shine. I wanted LeBron to just hang in the background and savor it because it was special. It was legendary.
I wanted Chris Bosh to come up out of nowhere. All of a sudden, he should rise up.
Okay.
I'm missing all
I mean,
of those.
because Mike Miller was
wanted,
in attendance.
I kind of wanted Chris Bosh to be there, actually. I know he was front and center Tuesday night, but he belonged, even though he was the third wheel and he's not in the banana boat republic, right?
Right.
So he just deserved to be there, but this is close.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to see. He had a very fitting tour. Dirk, I guess Dirk just held on. He's like, I don't know if I'm going to retire. But when it became obviously that Dirk was going to hang it up, everybody started giving him the video tributes. But D-Wade made it early, his last dance.
And as Tom Crean said last night, his Marquette coach, who was front and center, that the great thing about Dwayne's last hurrah was down the stretch, he played high-level basketball.
Yes.
He played much higher level to me than Dirk was capable of playing after this is his 21st year.
Right.
But Dwayne's on what's left of his knees, and I thought he looked like Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, he played 35 Tuesday night, probably played another 36, 37 last night.
Yep.
And the thing is, Skip, I've played with guys that had those archaic-type surgeries on their knees.
Yep.
It takes them so long to get warm. For a 7 o'clock game, D-Wade's probably getting warm at about 3 o'clock.
Yep.
Just to get ready to go play the amount of minutes that he's going to play. It takes so long. And D-Wade probably just got to the point, you know what? It's diminishing returns.
Yeah.
I am who I am. I'm not going to change anybody's perception of who and what they think I am. And to have to do this when I got all this going on at home, new wife, baby, kids, Zaire, his oldest son, 16, going, man, I'm missing all this to what? To warm up, to go out there and play 20 minutes a night?
Yep.
Nah, I'm good.
They had him mic'd up, and he was stretching on the floor right before the game, and he just was talking to his knees, saying, I just need a little bit. I don't need last night.
Right.
I just need a little bit more, just one more night. Not all of it, just some of it.
That's it.
And just watch. I will bet you he's going to have a surgery on that knee just to fix it and clean it up for good.
Go on to Germany. That's where everybody go and get these surgeries. Skip, they put a little something extra in that thing.
They do. Yeah.
Man, D-Wade
Not
come out.
just stem cells.
No, a little
Something extra?
little potion that.
Yeah. It's legal.
And watch
legal there.
D-Wade come out there, be break dancing,
Yeah.
moonwalking, and everything. Knees like.
He might. But you know what I loved in his postgame? He just made it completely crystal clear. No, I am done.
Done. Oh, yeah.
Like Dirk, as we speak right now, he's somewhere having second thoughts. I just know he's having second thoughts.
Dirk retired about 3-4 years ago. He just didn't tell anybody. He ain't tell nobody.
He made his last shot in San Antonio, and I just know he's thinking, I could still do this next year.
Plus, Skip, remember the other night he got 30.
Yeah, I know.
So you get 30, and then you cook him again what did he have, 20 and 10 last night? We're going to talk about Dirk a little later. But it was great to see D. Wade. I'm glad I got an opportunity to follow his career. Saw him in the finals one year against the San Antonio. I went down there. 2014? No, 2013.
Oh, that one?
As a matter of fact, I was right up under the hoop when Tiago Splitter tried to hammer on Braun.
On game one.
The game two, Skip.
No,
game one, they got lucky with Tony Parker with that flip.
He hit a shot.
Yeah, he did. And you thought, you're like, oh, yeah, we got us another one.
Yeah, and you're talking about that series when Ray Allen saved
Don't
LeBron's legacy?
There you
he
go.
did.
Skip. Boy, look at LeBron. LeBron got all that jewelry on.
Huh.
Just can't look away from him.
Oh, Braun looking dapper out there.
Look, Dwayne's like not much taller than Chris, who's 6'1".
I know.
6 feet, maybe.
Yeah,
His
6 feet.
size it is really evident in that photo. Boy, what I liked about the interview, it was still all about his team. And till the end, and I think that speaks to his character and who he was, and we're going to miss the guy.
We are going to miss him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Yeah,
Thank
D.
you.
Wade.
All right. Would the Lakers be making a big mistake if they keep Rob Pelinka as their GM? We are hearing some interesting reports there. We're going to discuss next. Don't forget, you can listen to us every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here with a quick word about Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos all commission-free. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees, so you can trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Plus, there is no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. You can also view stock collections, such as 100 most popular. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of Undisputed a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at undisputed.robinhood.com. Now, back to the show.
No mercy.
Magic Johnson's shocking decision to step down as the Lakers president on Tuesday left a lot more questions than answers. LeBron was reportedly stunned by the news, and Magic reportedly wanted to fire not only Luke Walton, but also GM Rob Pelinka. But now that Magic is gone, ESPN reports that Pelinka will not only stay as the GM, but, quote, if anything, his power will grow. So, Shannon, what does this information tell you?
It tells me that Jeannie likes him. And when Jeannie busts, it was reported that, and she said in the podcast and in all the interviews, I'm going to refer all decisions to Magic and Rob. Well, it was reported that earlier in the year that Magic Johnson wanted to fire Luke Walton. And Jeannie Buss said, nah, that's not going to happen.
Yep.
So how much power did Magic actually have?
Okay.
And it looks like, listening at Magic talk yesterday about the backstabbing and all these other things, he was talking about someone, and now we get this report he wanted to fire him.
Yep.
And again, Jeannie probably said, no, Magic, we're not going to do that.
Yep.
So Magic said, you know what? You tell me I got all this power. This twice I've tried to do something that was within my power, and you shot me down. So you know what? I got to just go. Let me go on just back. I can go back to being Magic. I can tweet when I want to, because me being Irving, I'm not really happy. But you making me even more unhappy by not letting me do what's in my job description. You see, what seems to me going on here, Skip, her dad, if you look at it with the exception of Paul Westhead, he let Pat Riley step down. Yep. And so they don't like change. Yep. They like comfort. Yep. And Jeannie was like, well, I just transitioned from my brother. We done fired a coach and hired a coach. Let's see this thing play out. And Magic like, we're the Lakers. Yep. We don't let stuff play out. We get ahead of it.
That is true.
And Jeannie seemed uncomfortable with Skip because And that's why I would never I don't put family in positions, because what's going to happen, it makes it virtually impossible for you to get off of that. Once you get married to something, it's hard for you to divorce it.
Yep.
Well, that's how Jeannie is. And she's married to, it seems, in a figurative speech, Skip, she's married to Luke. It's hard for her to get off it. Now she's to Rob. And I think the player that Jeannie Buss loves as much, if not more than Magic Johnson, is who, Skip? Kobe. Who used to represent Kobe Bryant? Rob Pelinka.
There you go.
Good point.
So, and now he has this power. I don't know whom you're going to get, Skip, to oversee this, because he's powerful. What power do I have? Normally, someone wants to come in and say, okay, I want to build a house like I want to. I'm not going to work with another architect.
Yep.
Let him go ahead and do it. And then once he can't do it, I'll come in and maybe have to clean up the mess. But I'm not going to work with a guy when he's halfway got the project already done.
Yep.
So this tells me that Jeannie Buss is very comfortable with Rob Pelinka. She's probably, and it says it's going to give him even more power than what he already has. So good luck trying to get a Bob Myers, even if he were to leave Golden State. But it seems to be someone's going to have to, do I really want to go there and have him already there? And he's probably going to have more power than I have.
So this was shocking to me, and this was proof positive of everything you just detailed, that Magic just said, I can't fight this anymore. I have lost the power struggle. That she made it clear to me in the 3-hour session they had on Monday, I don't want Luke fired. If you want to push for that, if you want the blood on your hands effectively, you do that. And I'm going to say that was your call.
Right.
But I don't want it. And I definitely don't want Rob Pelinka fired.
Right.
I like Rob Pelinka. Magic said, I can't work. I'm just guessing, educated guessing, but I can't work with Rob Pelinka anymore. And Jeannie, do you understand how unliked he is around the league? Because there are rampant reports now about Rob Pelinka as Kobe's agent and agent to many of the stars, burned a bunch of bridges, and he set a whole bunch more on fire. And they were in the perfect 1-2 punch because they had the good cop, bad cop with Magic, because Magic can get his calls returned. Rob, not so much.
No.
Okay.
And so they lost the good cop now, and it's only the bad cop is left. But listen, this is what I know about Jeannie Buss. She's a chip off her dad's block. She is a proud, stubborn fighter. And if you cross her, if you push her, if you back her into the corner, she is going to come out swinging. So on Rob Pelinka, not only did she make it clear to Magic he's going nowhere, he's staying right here, then Jeannie, I assume, made it clear to Ramona Shelburne at ESPN, not only am I going to keep him, his power is going to grow.
Right.
It's going to grow?
Wow.
Okay, well, to your point, you can just eliminate your entire A-list of potential candidates to replace Magic Johnson.
Yep.
The A-list is defunct.
Yes.
Because if Rob Pelinka's power has grown, nobody is going to touch this job. I don't care. You can keep telling me it's the Lakers. They don't care.
No.
Because it feels dysfunctional from the top.
Correct.
So in this case, where can you turn here? Who would take this job? Well, I'm back to what I said yesterday. I'm going to book this, that the only way out of this for Jeannie Buss is to elevate Kurt Rambis to president, because he is a family friend, because Kurt's wife, Linda, is very close, Jeannie's best friend.
Yeah, but I get that. I understand this is a family business, but you
remember,
can't run a basketball team
remember,
like you...
Linda already has an executive position, so now she is officially first vice president to Jeannie. So you got Linda, and if Kurt becomes the overseer, and remember, he did take a trip late in the year, a road trip on the team plane, just to observe. So
He was spying.
Okay, well, you...
I hate using that word, especially after yesterday, but he was spying, giving information back to Jeannie.
Okay, well, you could be right about that. You just could be right. But I can tell you that, like Magic's, one of his final comments was, Jeannie needs somebody she can trust. Well, she trusts Rob, it appears.
Well, clearly she trusts Rob.
Okay.
Sorry, you took. That's what I was. You said what I was thinking. Clearly, she trusts Rob Pelinka.
She does.
Clearly,
if his power is going to grow, and then I know she trusts Kurt Rambis because she really trusts Linda, so she's going to keep it in the family. I'm pretty sure. Does this bode well for the Lakers and LeBron? No, it does not.
No. Skip, I believe both Magic and Rob Pelinka was in over their heads. Because here's the thing. Just because you are a great player doesn't mean you're going to be a great evaluator of talent. Just because you represented athletes and signed multi-million-dollar contracts, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to evaluate. That doesn't mean that you understand how to put a team together.
It doesn't even connect at all.
And I was giving an analogy yesterday. Yeah, I was born on a farm, but that doesn't mean I'm a farmer. What that means, Skip, I understand about crops. I understand about livestock.
Yep.
That doesn't mean I can run a farm.
Yeah.
That means I have an understanding. Doesn't mean, Magic knows a great player when he sees him. Yeah, he understands that. But that doesn't mean he can run a team. Rob Pelinka, you had Kevin Durant, you had Kobe Bryant and Harden and all of these other guys. But you just put all those guys together and just go roll the basketball out there. So Jeannie has to understand. I get it. This has been your dad since the 80s. I think your dad purchased the team. Magic Johnson's rookie year before Magic got there, and that was one of the reasons that he bought it from Jack Kent Cooke. Really, people didn't realize that, Skip. Jack Kent Cooke, the former Washington Redskins owner, owned the Lakers also. He purchased it from him, and that was one of the reasons. Like, if you take Irving Johnson one, I'll buy the team. They did, but anyway. They don't. This is not, Skip. You can't run a mom and pop's business like you do a farm because if the crops come in, everything's gonna be okay. That's not how you do a sports team, Skip. You got to have a separation, and because if you don't, it makes decisions hard. Skip, I hate arguing with my sister. So I don't mind arguing with anybody else, but I hate arguing. Argue with my sister, and so it seems. And Magic said he's like, I love Jeannie like a sister. Clearly, he didn't want to argue. She had dug in on her side.
She had dug in.
And Magic had dug in on his. Now, the only way out of this is what? Jeannie ain't walking out the door.
That's hard.
Magic said, you know what? Deuces, Jeannie.
Because he's Magic Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you told me when I took the job, you called me. I did not call you looking for this job. You called me, Irving. I'm sure she called him Irving. Everybody else called him. I'm sure Irving.
I think Jerry Buss called him Irving.
He did. So, would you? You know what? I didn't really want this, but for you, Jeannie, and for your dad, because I love your dad and I love you and I love the Lakers, sure. Now I come in here and you telling me no. You know what, Jeannie, I love you. And just to make sure, so 2 years or 5 years from now, that I still love you, I'm going to walk on up out this door.
Okay. So we've talked about this before, but I'm going to reiterate. This is what I've learned over many, many years about running an NBA operation and choosing talent, picking talent. It doesn't matter whether you played. In fact, playing can be the biggest detriment to being able to pick talent. What do I always say? The best general manager in basketball is R.C. Buford, and he's proven it over 20 years' time. Just go back and look at all the gems he picked at the bottom of the first round or even at the bottom of the second round. So what did R.C. Buford do athletically? He did not play college basketball. He talked Larry Brown into giving him kind of a gopher job at Kansas, and the rest is NBA history. He has an eye for talent that you can't explain. He has a sense and a knack for how to run an organization, and it works. And he's very low-key, and it seems like laid back, but he knows when it's time to do this or that, and everybody listens. And that organization is Patriots-like. It doesn't have a Belichick at the top, although Pop is Belichick-like. But in the end, like Belichick does he wears all the hats, but RC is the guy pulling all the strings and picking the players.
If you look at the San Antonio, Skip, most of the players are the exact same, profile-wise, from Tim Duncan to Tony Parker to Manu Ginobili to Kawhi Leonard you look at the guys, look at their personality.
And they're coachable.
And they have to be that way because how is Pop. You can't get players that has the personality as Pop because what you gonna get? You got that with Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson
that was the one.
Yes.
That was the one.
And what happened?
It didn't last that long, but boom, 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 until finally Pop said that's enough.
Exactly. So you get these guys, and R.C. Buford knows the type of guy, okay, Pop that guy might be more talented, but he's going to butt head with Pop. That's a no-go.
Okay, and I just got to bring this up quickly, but Michael Jordan owns and operates the Charlotte Hornets, and they just missed the playoffs barely, but they're sub 500. They missed for the 7th time in 9 years. Under Michael, they have not advanced out of the first round of the playoffs. That's deplorable, despicable, indefensible.
Well, I want to give him, you know what, and sometimes I come out here and I beat him over the head because, you be trying to tell me he the GOAT.
Okay, but we're talking about post-playing. This is about running.
But you have to understand now, a couple of those times, like 2 or 3 of those times, he had to go up against the GOAT. But he wasn't playing. So when you go up against the GOAT, GOAT James. When you go up against him.
There's only one GOAT.
No.
How can the GOAT play himself?
Hold on.
Are you talking about solitaire or what?
When you send your team up against the GOAT,
okay.
That's centaur.
But it's in the East.
Yeah, he's a centaur.
But it's in the Eastern Conference, and you missed the playoffs 7 of 9 times. That's wrong.
Well, you went 3 or 4 of those times you went up against the GOAT. So what do you expect? Did you expect Charlotte to beat LeBron team?
Well, no.
Okay.
But again, as much as I love Michael Jordan, he needs to pull a magic and say deuces. Like I'm gonna step down. I'm going to remove myself from suffering. He needs an A-list executive.
He got him. Got Mitch Kupchak.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah. I'm just telling you what he had.
Okay, I got it. But now we get back to Magic. And Magic did not distinguish himself as a general manager or whatever you want to call him, as a personnel director, because not only did he make one bad move after another, but when came time to assemble his roster, he picked the most uncoachable roster in the history of the league, right?
I think the thing is, Skip, that he got so hell-bent on, I got to clear cap space, I got to clear space for 18, 19, that after all these bad contracts, you had the Mozgovs, you had the Luol Dangs, you had all these guys that you needed to get off the books because he was trying to position himself, okay, Paul George is up in 2018, let me make a run. Now, I don't know how serious of a run. It's like, they made it, Paul George. He stayed at OKC. Now, 2019. Now, can they get one of these guys or 2 of these guys? Can they get one and a B star? That remains to be seen because that's what Magic Johnson was ultimately going to be judged by, Skip. He said give him 2 off seasons, starting in 18 and 19, and then judge him from there.
Well, some A-list star is going to tell LeBron when LeBron makes the phone call in the offseason or before July 1st.
No, we don't make no phone call.
Huh?
Oh, no, we get on that bomber jet.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we get on that G6.
Okay, so you G6 to his doorstep.
Yes, sir.
And he says, well, what about Rob Pelinka?
What about it?
And LeBron will say, I got this.
Yeah, LeBron said, don't worry about Rob. You deal with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you deal with me. Don't worry about Rob. Rob who? Rob Lowe? Rob don't matter.
Yeah, he looks like Rob Lowe.
Yeah. Hey,
He
you
does.
know what? He kind of does. But anyway, Bron said, I got that. And look here.
So LeBron is now the de facto GM of the Lakers?
Bron has a lot of responsibility now.
And I'm a Hollywood mogul.
What does
Mogul?
I'm a Hollywood mogul, too. So if you want to get in this industry, this motion picture thing, I got that on lock, too.
What happened to $1 Million, what is it, Mile or whatever?
I don't know. I don't really watch reality TV.
It didn't get canceled. It just got demoted.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
I missed that.
It got removed from Wednesday primetime.
Did you know about this?
It must be the host's fault.
Huh. That could be.
Oh, my God.
That ain't nothing about that.
You putting me on the spot?
I don't know.
But always,
who the host is.
Wait a second. It always comes back to the executive producer.
Hey.
He's the one who pulls the strings.
Blame it on the host.
I thought LeBron had the Midas touch.
Hey.
Yeah.
They changed a lot of hosts on the Wheel of Fortune, but it still look good.
Is
Chuck
my
Willard,
job
Pat
up
Sajak.
for...
Huh?
Are you
Do they change a lot of hosts on
reminding me
the
that
Wheel?
I...
They did. Pat Sajak's been in there, but Chuck Willard was there first. Did you know that, Skip?
Well, Alex Trebek's been there for like 50 years.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
the best.
Did you know I went on Jeopardy and won?
Huh?
I won on Jeopardy.
I don't believe
I
it.
won on Jeopardy.
I don't believe
OJ.
it. I don't believe
Potent
it.
potables for 200, Alex.
Oh, God.
You would know.
Play the part.
That would be your category. You could sweep that category.
I feel like you guys in a Jeopardy setting could
I
be
beat the
really
brakes off
good
Skip.
TV.
Are you kidding?
I beat the brakes off, Skip.
Like, maybe we could just make this happen
You know where?
in some way.
Right now, at my house, Ernestine is shaking her head saying, Shannon
No
just...
way.
He is so wrong
No,
about
but
this
here's
one.
the thing, though, Skip.
'Cause she
See-
sits every Friday
guys
night
watch it,
and
right?
watches me do... She's
No,
like,
but
how
see,
do you know that?
See, you just
do you
blurted out the
know
answer.
that?
But there's a key to it.
I know,
See,
you got to beat the...
No.
Well, I mean,
but you can't
go too fast. I
Right,
know.
or to lock you out. You got to wait till he finished reading the question and hit that thing like that.
That's how you would win it.
You're a prisoner of the categories, actually.
You are.
I
If you
really
got 5
need to
potent
make this
potables,
happen.
you might win.
I need
Or the
to do
Olympics.
some kind of mini
Or
Jeopardy
sports.
around here. One day.
Presidents.
Shakespeare.
History.
What
No,
don't
no, no.
you guys know?
No mercy.
Dirk Nowitzki wrapped up his future Hall of Fame career last night doing what he has always done best, hitting jumpers. Dirk finished with 20 points, 10 rebounds, and even got emotional during the video tribute for him in San Antonio. Dirk won an NBA title, was league MVP, and leaves as the 6th highest scorer in league history. Shannon, how will you remember Dirk's career?
I believe he's the second greatest foreign-born player behind Hakeem Olajuwon. And he changed the way the game is played. Before Dirk Nowitzki, Skip, if you were 7 foot tall, you played on the block. He was the first 7-foot guy that says, you know what, I don't just have to exclusively play with my back to the basket. I can play. And he played mainly on the perimeter and behind the three-point line. He was that skilled. He had that step back, 1-foot shot, Skip, was unblockable because he was already 7 foot tall and he was launching it at an apex of probably about 10 feet tall. So you weren't blocking that shot. And then he brought a guy that came along called Kevin Durant. And this is what Kevin Durant said. Dirk is a little bit more special to me when it comes to players I admire, look up compared to some of the other guys. It was just a myth that being a 7-foot shooter. In my neighborhood, you heard about that being that tall and being a shooter. They was like, hell no, we never seen anything like that before. That's what he did. And so Dirk, Skip, I think he's underappreciated because two things happened to him. Is that he was smack dab in the middle of Kobe Shaq run, and then here come LeBron. So it's kind of like these guys that played along with when Jordan's era. They were really, really good, but they were never the best. And so it goes unnoticed. It's kind of like we look at Drew Brees. He's the all-time leading passer. But what he had the misfortune, Skip, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. And so Tom has 3 MVPs regular season, 6 Super Bowls. Peyton has 5 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, gone to 4. And so Drew gets swept to the wayside. And unfortunately, I feel that's how we do it looking at Dirk. I don't know if we realize just how special he was, Skip. A 50-40-90. He could shoot 50% from the floor, 40% from the three-point line, 90% from the free throw line. So when you look at that, and a guy that skilled that could shoot the ball like that, coined the phrase, a stretch. 7 foot tall, Skip, you played center. And you weren't shooting no threes. You wasn't roaming around the perimeter. Boy, get your butt down on the block and post up. But that wasn't who he was. And then now you get an even more skilled version of Dirk and Kevin Durant. So I'm afraid, Skip, as time passes on, we're not gonna remember Dirk in the capacity in which we should have because of the era in which he played, and now there's a more skilled version of him because he wasn't putting the ball on the floor, getting to the bucket like KD can and does. But the skill set to be able to shoot the ball from 3, to be able to shoot the ball in the mid-range game, he was it. He was it. He could do that.
I'm sorry, but I'm about to underappreciate Dirk.
Worried you were going to go there.
Yeah. I give you top 50 player. I give you longevity to play that long at a pretty high level is extraordinary.
Let's just say 17 years. The last 4 Skip.
I know the PER just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. But you offend me when you call him the second best foreign-born player because Manu Ginobili was the second best. I'm sorry, he just was. I'll take Manu any day or night up against Dirk because I saw him up against Dirk time and time again, and he will beat Dirk.
Did he bring Tim Duncan along with him, or did he leave Tony Parker at home?
Dirk had a
Did he
lot
bring
of
Kawhi with him, or did he leave those guys at home?
You just don't get it. But I'm going to leave that be, and I'm going to stay on Dirk.
Okay.
If you look at the big picture playoff career, and I banked the playoffs, he wound up 69 and 76 in the postseason. Not bad, but not great. He wasn't a dominating player because look at the 2 finals. In the first finals against Dwayne, when Dwayne just took it over, in large part from the free throw line, but he took the finals over.
Yes.
And Pat Riley said in 06, Dwayne was the best player in the league, and he was in 06.
Okay.
That was kind of the height of Dwayne, and then his knees began to creak after that. But in that finals, Dirk did average 23, 11, and 3. Pretty good numbers, but he shot 39% from the field, which is not great, and 25% from 3 in those games,
Right.
in the finals
In the
games.
final.
And then he did win MVP of the 2011 finals and put up big numbers, 26, 10, and 2. He never was a passer or assister. But I got to tell you, in 2011, he owes LeBron for that one because LeBron just handed it to him because they were in command up 2-1, and then we know what happened. LeBron just couldn't handle the spotlight. It was going to be his breakthrough. And for whatever reasons, game 4, 5, and 6, LeBron melted down. And I feel like Dirk won that by default. He won MVP and they won the championship.
You do
by
realize
default.
in order for Dirk and them to get to where they got, they swept the two-time defending champ, LA Lakers.
They did.
With one Kobe Bryant, who they said at the time was the best player.
Yeah.
Paul Gasol, Andrew Bynum, Derek Fisher, Lamar Odom. They swept them.
Okay.
And that goes unnoticed.
So help me out. Dirk made how many all-defensive teams?
Man, Dirk
how
ain't
about
no-
zero?
Skip, you
How about
know-
zero? Because he just didn't play defense.
No, he
that
couldn't.
wasn't his thing.
No.
He averaged for his career 2 assists a
Can't do it
game.
all.
2 assists a game.
Yes.
So he didn't defend and he did not share.
Okay.
Okay? But he averaged 21 points and 8 rebounds, so I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you top 50. But when you talk about impact on the scoreboard, not so much because for the last 5 years, they didn't even make the playoffs. 6 of the last 8 years, they didn't make the
Right.
playoffs because he was fading. But I don't ever think he was that guy. Just to me, what he was made of. And again, I rooted against him many nights
I bet
because
you
San
did.
Antonio
So
and
true.
Dallas were big rivals, and it went back and forth and back and forth. But mostly it was Spurs over Mavericks. And in the end, I'm sorry, he just wasn't that guy. I can't put him in the same breath as you talk about him like he's an all-timer, all-time great.
You top 50 player.
Okay, I'll give you top 50. But
And
I
he's
don't know,
in front of Manu.
Is he
And
like,
he's in front of
is
Manu.
he like 48th or?
He's in front of Manu.
He's not in front of Manu.
Manu Raju, Manu Ginobili, or anybody else named Manu.
At the end of a game, I want the ball in Manu's hands because great things are going to happen. And in the end, the guts and the driver of the Spurs.
Didn't Manu miss a free throw in that Miami series? Did he miss one of those?
Okay.
Are you sure you
Played a
want
long time.
Hold on. Whoa. Wait a second now.
Do you want to go back and look at how many times Manu beat Dirk?
Skip, I just want to ask you a simple question. Are you sure? Because you say, what if they fouled him
You
and
know
sent
who
him to
missed
the
the
free throw?
biggest free throw down the stretch of Game 6? It was number 2 in Toronto. That guy, he was just a little kid. then.
Yeah, a little baby, like
Just
we say, he a baby.
Little baby.
I want the ball in Dirk's hand
Yeah.
because if you foul him, he 90%.
Well, in
Those
that,
were
in
buckets.
that game, I wanted the ball in LeBron's hands because he had 3 turnovers in the last 3 minutes, all of them unforced error, uncharacteristic. What are you doing, LeBron?
They're scoring 16.
And then
I'm scoring 16. We down 10.
Then I wanted the ball in LeBron's hand, let him take that last shot to tie, and what did he do? He LeBricked it.
Okay, what happened?
He LeBricked
What happened in
it.
overtime? Who had the ball in their hands in overtime,
My
Skip?
team was shot in the heart by Ray Allen.
What you mean?
Shot in the heart.
Oh, so
They bled out in
last year.
overtime. They
last
bled
year,
out. They were just
happened
on the floor.
That's what
bleeding.
happened to LeBron.
Yeah.
He was shot in the heart by JR.
You realize that
Who? JR.
Do you
Now who
realize-
shot? You remember that? Skip?
at the end of regulation, they cordoned off the court
Yes.
ready for the trophy presentation to my team,
Yes.
my Spurs.
Ooh.
This was it. It's over.
And my son he running upstairs. Yeah, he poking fun. But guess what?
Oh, so that's where your
So I
your
read that.
bitterness comes from. Your son was a Spurs fan.
Yeah.
Aha.
No.
Now we got the source of your
no.
bitterness.
He's not a Spurs fan. He's an anti-LeBron fan. So he rooted for the Celtics, the Nets, anybody that was in Chicago, anybody that's going up against LeBron. But guess what? I ran out upstairs to the basement, started jumping on the bed. I broke the bed down. Daddy, you broke my bed. No, it's my bed. I bought this, son. Don't worry about it. But anyway.
So your son was enlightened.
No, he wasn't.
He got it from the start.
You ought to sort of look on his face.
Huh.
You ought to sort of look at his face when Ray hit that shot. I said, it's over for y'all. Y'all not winning the championship. It's over. And then Game 7, who took that thing over, Skip?
LeBron James did. I give you that. He was playing against 5 cadavers.
You know what? Don't do
Five.
that. Don't do that.
5
But,
cadavers.
Skip, you do realize Dirk is only a handful of players that got 30,000 career points. You do
Okay,
realize that.
I got that. And listen, when I was rooting against him, that step back rainbow was
it's
or
over.
the one-legged,
It's
you know,
over.
it was just like you can't stop that.
Everybody shoot it.
Okay.
KD shoots that shot now. You know who else shoots that shot?
Okay,
LeBron.
who do you want, KD or Dirk? I'm taking
I mean,
KD any
stop
day
it.
or night. Well, seriously.
But that's
seriously.
That's my point, is that he's going to give it even push further back because KD is 7 foot and even more skilled than Dirk.
He is even
more
more
scoring
skilled.
titles, MVP,
He gets to
finals.
the rim better.
Yeah. Yes.
He
No
defends
question.
better.
Yes.
He passes better.
But let me ask you a question. Before Dirk, name the 7-footer that could do what he could do.
He revolutionized. I'll give you that. You know?
So that's worth something, ain't it? I'm sure there are smarter people than Albert Einstein. But when we go back to the genius and who we think of, Skip. So when we think of
I'm not sure there is anybody smarter.
you look at you look at O.J. Sharpe.
Huh? Smarter than
Oh,
Einstein?
you-
Did we just get I'm smarter than Albert
Really
Einstein?
confident today.
Hold on. In my field. Now, when it comes to mathematics and all that stuff,
Do you
physics-
understand E equals MC squared? Do you know what that means? Who created that?
He can read all that. But this knowledge up here,
We
just
don't
run
need
up
any
here, Skip.
math on the show.
Just
'cause
run
I'll
that. I
be
just run them down.
Really
like
out
that.
of luck.
Really?
Okay, either way.
I go back from 1973, all the Heisman Trophy winners coming forward. All the national champions in basketball coming forward. Skip, I got that knowledge like that, Skip.
We're going to say
Once it go up in the computer,
it's there.
oh yeah, once it go, ooh, it locked in.
Okay. Congrats to Dirk. Can we just
Congrats.
end on that
Congrats,
note?
Dirk.
He did
Way
a
to go.
lot in the
Hating.
community
I'm
as
not-
well.
That's
Truth
Spurs
telling.
hate.
He said, I left Germany 20 years ago. I became a Texan. And that
did.
is how he will be remembered as
Excellent.
well. We're going to talk about the future because Nick Bosa will probably be a top 5 pick. But now there is a little controversy
Yep.
around him. So we'll tell you what's going on.
Is Dirk a Texas?
No mercy.
Nick Bosa is projected to be a top pick in the NFL draft later this month, but now he's facing some controversy. Bosa told ESPN that he has deleted some of his past tweets that supported President Trump and called Colin Kaepernick a, quote, clown. Bosa said he had to delete the tweets because, quote, there is a chance I might end up in San Francisco, and he was worried about backlash from their fan base. The 49ers have the second pick. So, Shannon, should the 49ers actually consider not taking him because of this?
Well, they should consider all things. I think anytime you evaluate a player, Skip, you look at all things. You look at his production, and you look at how he's going to play in the locker room. And so you factor that in. Antonio Brown is an immensely talented player. He just went for a third and a fifth. Not because what he did on the field, is because the dissension that he was causing in the locker room.
Yep.
And so anytime in a situation like this, and look, I'm not here to, the guy can like who he likes. He's had some tweets that, I just thought that he went out of his way. He saw the movie Black Panther, and it was trash. You can, okay, I saw Black Panther and I didn't like it. But it seems like he went out of his way. Beyonce, it seems like he's going out of his way to say and do certain things.
Okay.
And then for me to delete the messages, well, I'm deleting them because the second pick are the 49ers.
Yep.
If the 49ers were the 10th pick, you think he'd do that? He'd have said the same thing if the Giants had the 6th pick or whomever, because that's where he wants to go, Skip. And the 49ers are going to win, obviously. How does he play in the locker room? Look, I played with a guy that's a staunch conservative. My quarterback, John Elway.
Yeah.
And he did everything he possibly could to avoid talking politics.
Yep.
Because he knows that can get very, very sticky in a locker room when you're dealing with guys from a lot of different backgrounds. But Nick Bosa is entitled to feel how he feels. He can like whatever president he wants. I'm not here to kill him for his political choices or preference. But I think it's very clear. He feels a certain way, and he took Skip, if he had deleted it, said, you know what, I said some things that I probably shouldn't have said. I said some things that's not the best representation of me and my family. But that's not what he did.
He did not.
That's not what he said. He said, I erased these, I took these down because the 49ers have the second pick of the draft. Now, we know what transpires in the Bay. They're very forward-thinking. They're very liberal. They like what they like. And so this was basically, I'm not sorry, but I just better remove it because they do have the second pick, and I don't want to give them any reason for them not to take me.
Yeah, I half expected he would say, my first tweet on Colin Kaepernick, I was young, I was dumb, I was naive. I hadn't even started at Ohio State yet. It was before my freshman
Correct.
A
season.
while ago, yeah.
And he could have taken the path that so many take. I didn't even know. I don't stand for those things. It's not me.
Right.
No. He just said, it looks like I'm going to the 49ers. I better take these tweets down.
Correct.
Yeah, I just don't want to be so public with what I believe, but I still believe. In effect, he's saying,
Yes.
without saying,
Right.
I still believe what I believe, okay? I guess I appreciate the honesty of that.
Right.
Now, whether you take or leave his stances is a whole nother issue.
Correct.
But I will say this about the Bay Area. I lived there, I worked there, I covered the 49ers. Trust me on this, even though it is probably the most liberal area in this country, there's also a faction of staunch conservatives there. And I know because I used to park in that Candlestick parking lot and walk through those tailgates.
Yeah.
There's some arch conservatives.
Yes,
Trust me on
yeah.
this. It's not all cut and dry.
No.
It's all not 100% this way and not that way.
Correct.
But by all accounts, Nick Bosa, most of the, if you go McShay, Kuiper, or even Joel Klatt, I think everybody uniformly says he's the best player in the draft.
Right.
I disagree with that. I think Kyler Murray is the best player.
And had Kyler Murray not been in this draft, he'd probably been the number one overall.
Okay, he just would be. I think hands down. And probably at this very moment in the Arizona boardroom, they're probably still kicking it back and forth. Boy, if we get him, we might have a 12, 15-year Pro Bowl
But
pass rusher.
here's the thing, Skip. If it's close,
Okay.
you always take the quarterback.
I would.
There's no question. You always take the guy that can produce the points.
Yep.
Now, you want a guy that can stop him from producing points. But all things being equal, I don't care what anybody tells you. You win games by scoring points.
Okay.
So if a guy can put points on the board, you better get it.
Okay. So what do we know about Nick Bosa? We know his brother has been very good.
Very good.
Okay. And how old is his brother? Is like 3 years older, I guess?
I think 3 years, yeah.
Okay. I know the father, John, was once the 16th overall pick in the draft by the Dolphins. He wasn't that great as a pro.
Right.
But he was that guy.
Right.
So he's from New Hampshire, played at Boston College. They all ended up living in Fort Lauderdale, but there's probably some conservatism going on in that family.
But the thing for me is that Nick Bosa is not the only NFL player that has these views.
Yeah.
Now, he's probably one of the only ones that was, that I think moving forward, that voiced these views. You have to understand that you're in a locker room and people look at you like, okay, he's entitled to his opinion. Like I said, there are a lot of things that I don't like. I think I just try and phrase it in a way that, that wasn't my cup of tea. But to say a movie was trash and
I agree with you.
Knowing how people of color has fought for so long to have a superhero movie when the actors and the actresses look like them but had a superhero. Because for the longest time, you cannot be a superhero and be black. So now we finally get one. It's a box office bonanza, and he calls it trash. And then to say Beyonce is the worst music. So you can understand why people in my community would take offense to some of the things he said.
They should.
Those are his opinions.
Because, listen, Black Panther was not trash. I don't care where you come from or what color.
Exactly.
It just wasn't trash.
It was not.
And Beyonce is really gifted.
Beyonce got that. Trust me, I seen Beyonce in concert. She fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 rows back, I watched Beyonce doing it. Lemonade.
Okay, but I don't care if she could be red, green, blue. It doesn't matter. You can just listen and say,
She's not.
That's really
She's
gifted.
extremely talented.
Flawless.
It's not even.
Okay.
But you don't stay at Georgia.
Okay, so it does make you wonder.
Yes.
Okay, so I go back to what's going on in San Francisco. Colin Kaepernick has not played for the 49ers for 2 full football seasons. So we have a new regime, Kyle Shanahan, obviously, and John Lynch. And it's turning over quickly because that's what happens in this league.
Right.
So I look back and checked, only 4 remaining starters played with Colin. So it's not a huge faction in the locker room. It's 10 total in the locker room played with Colin Kaepernick.
That's surprising.
They're turning over their roster. So are there that many who are that close to Colin?
No.
Not anymore. So in the end, despite whatever you think of his politics or his stances, if he comes in and he's a force right out of the box.
Get 3 sacks, they'll forget everything.
Okay.
Put the tweets back up for him. You get 3 sacks. All they want to know, Skip, at the end of the day, can you play? Can you get these sacks? Because you look at, I'll give you a similar situation. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Tyreek Hill had a situation, if you read the report, I don't need to get into it, but go read the report, and they drafted him. They find out Kareem Hunt did what he did, and they released him. Production. They said, so you know what? Man, you see what Tyreek Hill doing? Even though, so Joey Bosa go in there and get 3 sacks the first game, get 2 sacks?
Yeah.
But like, he said, what? Oh, that ain't nothing. He was just a kid. He just talked. I got no problem with what he said. That's his opinion. He feels that way, so be it. But it was just very obvious why he took the tweets down, not because he come to this, like, you know what? Maybe I was a little harsh in my critique, or maybe there's some things I shouldn't have said or I shouldn't have phrased it like that. But I got no problem with his opinion.
So this is my opinion. If Shannon Sharpe were a veteran leader on this team right now and they did draft Nick Bosa, I believe you would pull him aside in camp.
Yes, I would.
Let's sit down for a second.
Yeah.
I just want to hear it from you. I want to look in your eyes and let's just talk this through. And you might express your side of that story back to him.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him why was Colin Kaepernick a clown?
Yeah.
You know, Dr. King, fought for some of the very same things that Colin Kaepernick fought for. You think he's a clown?
Okay.
Yeah, you just talk. I mean, first, obviously when rookies come in, Skip, you just want to get a sense of who they are and what they are, what they're about. How serious are they about football? I need to know that because I was very serious about football. And we couldn't be friends if you weren't being serious about
just
football.
hypothetically, what if Nick Bosa then looked you right in the eye and said, "This is none of your business"? Then where would we go?
I like, Nick, it's gonna be a rough year for you, bro. It's gonna be a real rough year.
Yep. Okay. There we go. I got it. I believe that.
Yeah. But I think the thing he understands, I think having a dad that played in the NFL, had a brother that plays in the NFL, he understands the hierarchy of how a locker room works.
I believe he would.
And I think he understands that when someone of my ilk sits down and talks to you, they're coming to you in a place of caring and helping you understand and want you to navigate. Because trust me, there are more people in the locker room, wherever Nick Bosa plays, there are going to be more people in the locker room that look like me than look like him.
Yeah.
Truth.
Okay. Appreciate that perspective. And deleting tweets, they don't delete. So for everyone out there that tweets something, it doesn't
They
go
done
away.
screenshotted it.
So let's remember that as we move on back to the NBA. Why are superstars staying away from LeBron? Because that seems to be the case. And Shannon, you're going to have to explain it to us. We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
LeBron is set to film Space Jam 2 this summer, but he's still searching for NBA co-stars. The Hollywood Reporter says it's, quote, nearly impossible for Steph Curry and James Harden to be a part of the movie since they are repped by rival shoe companies. LeBron is repped by Nike, as we all know, while Steph is with Under Armour and Harden is with Adidas. And even though Kevin Durant is a Nike athlete, he reportedly won't be a part of the movie because he has other Hollywood projects in mind. He's working on some other stuff. Shannon, we're looking for NBA stars, so I don't know if you can be in the movie, but what is going on here?
Look, clearly this is, I'm afraid, what might happen this summer, Skip. Nobody wants to try to help us, do this project. Because you and I both know, Skip, if you wanted to be in a movie, you find a way to be in the movie. And with the way, this is not 1975. With the way animation is now, Skip, they can make you have on any kind of shoes you want. If you wanted to be in the movies, this is just an excuse. Okay, fine. Just say you don't want to be in the movie. Don't use shoes as an excuse. That's like, hey man, can you come down here and do? Well, I was going to, but I was gonna clean out my closet. You come up with. There's no person more busy than the person that doesn't want to be bothered with you. Because guess what they'll do, Skip? They'll find any excuse. Man, I think my refrigerator light out. I need to fix it.
Yeah. Listen,
really?
Kevin Durant's got a huge closet. It takes the whole offseason to clean it off.
Whatever, Skip. You and I both know. And I think the thing is, Skip, this is LeBron. It was like when Jordan was doing this movie, Skip, nobody thought there was going to be the movie was based on Michael Jordan. Dude, the guys realized Warner Brothers had their choice of any basketball player. They chose LeBron James, just like they had their choice in 95 when 95, 96 when he came out? I think 96 it came
96, yeah.
Because he shot it.
Mid-90s.
They had their choice. They could have got any NBA player. They chose Michael. They had Warner Brothers had their choice of any NBA player. They chose LeBron. So guys, you're not gonna get equal billing. Go ahead and play these roles. You know what? Look, I ain't everybody like, man, I ain't no Muggsy Bogues. Come on, bro. You know what?
You know what?
Look, it might be your boy. Your boy might have to go on and put the gym shorts back on and go on back out there.
Because you might be his last gasp here.
I don't know.
This is all he's got.
They be hating, man. This is ridiculous. You know it is too, Skip. You can't even believe it.
I feel sorry for LeBron.
We don't want no pity.
You don't?
No.
I mean, the whole league is just rejecting him. It's just
God,
sad what's
God, we
happening.
blow it up like nitro.
Really?
Yep.
On LeBron's last night in the NBA, I'm afraid nobody's going to show up.
You won't bet nothing.
Yeah.
But see, we ain't gonna do that, Skip.
Here's the point. As I read
What's the
deeper
point?
and deeper into this Hollywood Reporter article about what's going on, and they made the point it could be about the shoes. It's not about the shoes.
Of course not.
It's about the script. That is the key difference. In the original Space Jam, it took a dream team of NBA players to save the world. In this script, and again, it's got luminaries doing the script, but this script is based on LeBron James' life and times. So it's going to revolve around him. Yeah. He's going to have a fictional wife, but she'll play Savannah, obviously. Right. And there's a Maverick Carter character, his childhood buddy who became his producing partner. Mm-hmm. So it's really the life and times of LeBron James. Okay. And they're looking at the script saying, I don't want to be scenery in this. I don't want to be set decoration for LeBron James.
Yeah, but the movie is $200 million. That's what they give Jerry Bruckheimer to do stuff.
Well, the original gross 231.
So we're going to top that.
Are you? I don't know.
We're going to top that.
It's going to be a solo act.
No, it's going to be what it's going to be. Now, we're giving you a part of your history. Now, you can be, when you think about it, there have been a lot of movies that actors says, you know what, I had an opportunity, but I didn't. And they wish they had. They look back 20 years, 30 years later and says, I should have. I hope these players don't do that. Don't let pride, you said pride goeth before the fall. Okay, okay, fine. So what do you want the movie to be about? All these guys, what would you have the movie to be about so you would feel comfortable?
I want it to be a remake of Saving the World with the Dream Team.
No.
No. I didn't realize it was going to be that different.
Yeah, we won't be that different. We different.
Why do you want to be in that? Why do you want to be the sidekick to that show?
Because they were the sidekick when they saved the world. Who was the Space Jams? Who was the central figure?
It took everyone, though. It still took everyone.
Yeah, it's going to take everyone. They help us put our best foot forward.
Take everyone to tell LeBron's life story? Come on. This is egomania at its worst.
So hold on. LeBron didn't write the script.
I'll make a Space Jam about me.
LeBron ain't write the script. Ryan Coogler's in charge.
Did?
Don't you like Ryan Coogler?
I love Ryan Coogler.
Fruitvale Station, Black Panther.
I got you. But I think there's some input from Maverick and LeBron saying, you know what? Maybe make it about LeBron's life. Or maybe that's the story Ryan wants to tell. But you can't expect James Harden and Kevin Durant to say, I want to stand over on the side while they're telling this story. It's like, they're props. I don't want to be a prop in LeBron's story.
Look here.
An extra.
Everybody, even in the original, there's only one Michael Jordan. And then you had Muggsy Bogues and I think Charles Barkley. So everybody got to skip. Everybody doesn't get a list. You think so I guess nobody wants to do a movie with Samuel Jackson. Nobody wants to do it with Denzel or any of these top. Why? Because if I can't get equal billing, I can't get top footed. What kind of bull job is that?
I know, but LeBron's not Sidney Poitier.
He is in this juncture because they chose him. If a movie studio says, you know what, we want Denzel. Everybody else can't go, well, I ain't playing that part. I ain't playing it. Come on, Skip.
Well, it's just sad what's happening.
Hold on. I told you we don't want pity. We don't do pity. At Camp 23, that's not what we do. We fine.
You know what LeBron's going to find out about Hollywood? It's hard. It's a lot harder than the NBA has been for LeBron James.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I don't know if LeBron, when he was a kid, grew up saying, I want to be a Hollywood mogul. I think that's something that happened along the way. He grew up saying, I wanted to be an NBA star, and he was blessed with God-given ability to be able to hoop and the discipline that he was able to stay on. Yeah, this is a different genre. I'm not saying he's going to be Denzel.
So what's the oldest line about Hollywood? Nobody knows anything. Because if somebody knew something, they just keep remaking the same movie and you have hit after hit after hit. And they keep trying and failing, and then they say, why did that work? I don't know. Nobody knows why it works. And it just does.
And remakes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like television, Skip. If you think about it, they rebooting all the old stuff that was successful. I'm waiting on them pretty soon. They're going to dig mashup. A Gunsmoke, Bonanza.
They've done everything.
Yeah, they got Will and Grace back on.
I know. No, I got it. So this is the first tarnish on LeBron's Hollywood.
And I know what I'm talking about. Wait a minute. What tarnish?
$1 Million Mile. It's his executive produced production.
I believe it was the host.
It's his brainchild.
I believe it was the host.
After 2 episodes, it got yanked off Wednesday night and dumped into Saturday night. It's not failed yet, but it's on the way out.
If it had a different host, I'm just saying.
You were speaking of Tim Tebow.
I ain't speaking of nobody.
Again, Shannon?
But remember, Tim Tebow is not invested in Hollywood the way LeBron is. Tim Tebow is a baseball player to his core. Tim Tebow is on track to be called up by the Mets later this year.
But what about all these fanatics that buy all this memorabilia that we want Tebow? What, don't they watch him?
They don't want him to host $1 Million Mile.
What they want him to do?
They want him to play baseball, yeah.
Well, he should have thought about that 10 years ago. Too late now.
So I thought everything LeBron touched would just be a hit.
Somewhere
today, LeBron is saying,
you gotta put because remember, Skip Bayless, was Coach Belichick a hitting in Cleveland?
No, he's...
Okay, then. You got to be in the right place at the right time with the right people around you.
Was he a hit his first year in Foxborough, Bill Belichick? No. How about the first 2 games of his second year? No.
And then that's all. LeBron just needed the right person around him. He needed to put O'Shea on that thing.
Really? Oh, because you got the Midas touch. Okay. Yeah.
I want to do me a movie.
I believe that. You would like to. Life story.
No. I'm trying to think who could play my life story. I think I want Samuel L.
Do you?
Ooh, okay. Good
Maybe
choice.
Denzel.
Maybe Denzel? You went from Samuel to Denzel?
Maybe.
I don't know. Skip it. No. I don't know if they can play it. Maybe Derek Luke would probably have to play me.
Yeah.
We got
How about,
movies
what's his
over
name,
here?
Terry?
Terry Crews?
Yeah, Terry.
Yeah.
Nah, T. Crew can't play me.
That works. No.
He can pop his pecs up.
No,
and down, right?
T. Crew can't play me. But I need to be in a movie. I need to be Q was supposed to put me in Friday, last Friday.
Yeah.
I need to be in that one.
Okay.
Why don't you call LeBron and get in this thing? Do something.
What I'm gonna do?
Something. Just, this.
I could. I mean, I'd do something. Give me a little credit.
Just a little
credit,
in there.
something.
We gotta give you. You're the most. You're so supportive. We gotta give you some love there.
Box office bust.
You see, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to speak that into existence, but that's not the no. LeBron done prayed about this. Yeah, he prayed about this here.
He prayed?
Yeah,
about
this
it?
thing.
I didn't know LeBron prayed. He's
What
never.
you mean?
He never talks about
Then
praying.
he got to talk about it. That's the thing. Those are the ones that you want to be around, not the ones that tell you that they pray. Because the ones that tell you they pray, Jenny, they're doing something else behind closed doors other than praying.
Really?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You know, that's between me. Me, old televangelist Shannon.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, the Warriors might be too busy to film because they might be busy three-peating. Is anyone going to be able to stop them? Eddie House answers that question next.
No mercy.
The NBA playoffs are officially here. The Warriors are a huge 1-3 favorite to win the West, and they'll host the Clippers in the first round. But Golden State could have a tough matchup with the Rockets in round 2. Steph Curry did not play last night after hurting his ankle on Tuesday, but he should be fine for the playoffs. FS1 NBA analyst Eddie House is with us this morning. And Eddie, will anyone in the West be able to beat the Warriors?
I'm going to say it in Spanish and English.
Please.
No.
No?
No. If they're healthy. Those 4 guys, they'll win every matchup. KD will win every matchup. Boogie Cousins will win every matchup. Steph will win every matchup. And Clay will win matchups, depending on who they're playing. So they'll have 3 or 4 matchups out on the court that's going to win. When it comes to playoff time, that's what happens. You're going to have your one-on-one guys be able to beat the guy in front of them. It's going to come down to that. Which players are going to be able to make plays? And they got guys that can not only make plays for themselves, but they can make plays for others. As greatest of a shooter Steph is, I think he's such an underrated passer and playmaker and a finisher at the rim. It will take, and God forbid anything, God forbid this happening, it will have to be 2 guys that something happened to them, where they went down. And again, God forbid that, because nobody wants to see a team not full strength. I want to see every team at full strength, and like last year when CP went down, that was unfortunate. Now, can the Rockets have a chance? The Rockets have a chance because last year they showed that they were there, that they were right there. CP got hurt, and we don't want to say the if, and because we know that, but you want to be full strength. Full strength, do they have a better chance? They did have a better chance with CP in than they didn't. And then also they missed a 27 straight threes. Do you think, again, if they go on a spell where they miss 11, there's not one guy that a light bulb's going to go on in their head and say, let me take this to the basket? Yep. And so with that being said, a threat is Houston, but beating them, I have to see it before I can give anybody that type of credit.
Yeah, we agree. I don't believe anybody's going to beat them. No, net, 9, nanka. A few other languages I don't really know.
You speak what, like 8 languages?
Yeah. Let's see, Hood, American English, Ebonics. But anyway, Skip Bayless.
Baloney.
Okay, you got jokes today, Skip Bayless.
Good.
No, I don't believe anybody can beat this team fully healthy. Since the All-Star break, they're the #1 defensive-rated basketball team. That's with Boogie Cousins. Because remember, the knock is that they weren't so good with Boogie on the court. Now they found a way they're playing better defense with Boogie on the court. Offensively, nobody can match them. I mean, one guy has an off night, Steph Curry can still go get you 40. KD has an off night, now you got Clay can go get you 40, and vice versa. And now if two guys are on, you're not beating them. If they get two guys on, they get Steph and KD, or they get KD and Clay, you're not beating this team. So, no, Houston has the best chance, but Houston was trying to avoid them into the Western Conference Finals. But somehow they had a big lead, and they your guy missed a free throw. James Harden.
Not my guy.
Yeah, your guy missed a free throw.
I needed him to make that free throw, and then he missed a wide-open three.
And
what do I tell you about James Harden? Can you really, really trust him? Nope.
Paul George hit that three, and so now it's the 4-5 matchup with them in Utah, and so they would see Golden State in the second round.
Yep.
I believe Houston has the best chance, as Eddie said, but healthy, they go.
I thought you loved the Rockets.
I do love them.
You kept telling me they're going to beat Golden State.
I would like.
That's all I heard all
I
year.
was hoping.
Now we get to the
No.
doorstep, and you say, I don't think so.
I was hoping they would meet them in the Western Conference Finals, and then maybe someone had taken a pound of flesh, even though they gotten through, but someone had taken something out of them. I don't believe the Clippers are going to take anything out of them in the first round, and they're going to be well rested by the time they get, because Utah, this thing is going to go 5 or 6 games.
Do you realize what a bizarre development there was last night in Portland? When Portland played all of its backups against a lot of Sacramento backups, and Sacramento was ahead by 28 points at the end of the first half and 20 at the end of 3 quarters. And the Portland backup stormed back thanks to one Anthony Simons. Well, I don't know Anthony Simons, but he scored 37, scored 12 in the fourth quarter, went crazy.
Yes.
And that bumped the Rockets down a seed, and so the Rockets have to face Golden State in round 2.
Yes.
Okay, if in fact they get to round 2, right? So I'm going to say what I've said all year long. This is the most vulnerable Golden State team we have seen in the Steve Kerr era there, because they have been troubled all year. And it started with Draymond versus KD, and I know they have a truce, but it's an uneasy truce between those two that could rear its ugly head in any big, crucial playoff game. And I love DeMarcus Cousins, but he has played exactly 0 playoff games in his life. So this is all new to him. And I get what you said. Since the All-Star break, they started to click, and they played defense around him. I think he made more of a commitment. He's learning how to play defense. And I thought the Andrew Bogut re-pickup was a shrewd move, because he helps them on defense. You can put him in, and he will protect the rim, okay? So given all of that, I still wonder about, they lost 8 games by 20 or more points, and no champion has ever lost more than 6 20-plus point games. And if you look at them, there were horrendous losses, most of them at home. The worst 6 of them are at home. That lost by 35 to Dallas, 33 to Boston, 28 to Oklahoma City, 26 to the Lakers, remember the fateful Christmas Day, 23 to Minnesota. The Timberwolves beat them by 23 at home, then they lost 22 at Portland, 21 at Houston, 20 to Toronto at home. That's one bad sign after another. And you can say, are we there yet? They're just kind of running on psychological fumes like, do we have to play another regular season game? Let's just get to the playoffs. And you can tell me they'll just flip the switch and just crush everybody, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I do think Houston has a real shot at beating them in the second round.
The second round?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I do, because Houston won 3 out of 4 against them.
And
what was the one game that Golden State won at Houston? Who didn't play in that game?
KD.
KD did not play in that game, and it was like a statement, okay, if you got 1 foot out the door, and that's the other problem with this team, he does have maybe 2 feet out the door.
I'm not sure with that. I'll say this, that you said they're vulnerable, right? Yeah, I think they are with those losses. I think that comes with a little bit of getting bored with it.
Okay, you could be right.
At the same time, you say they're vulnerable. Are they more dangerous than they are vulnerable? I think so. I think they're way more dangerous than they are vulnerable.
The most dangerous animal is one that's vulnerable.
So, right about
it's
that.
a wounded animal, but they're not wounded. And they might be psychologically wounded.
And with Boogie Cousins, right, you talk about he never had played. He's been chopping at the bit to get in the playoffs. That was his whole problem why he was in Sacramento, why he was raising all that hell, because he wanted to win, and he felt like they wasn't doing anything to get to that point. So he's chomping at the bit to get to the playoffs. I don't think it's going to be a problem for him. The lights won't be too bright. I mean, he went to Kentucky.
We keep talking about injury, Skip, but what else could be the undoing? Technical fouls. KD got another one, 16.
This has always been the case.
Boogie.
That's who they are.
So now you mess around and get thrown out of a game, and then you have to miss the next game. Now all bets are off.
I think they're smarter. Boogie is emotional, right? But I think the team will help. He's not more emotional. Him and Draymond are by neck and neck as far as out of control.
KD got 16 takes.
Well, KD does too. I think he got a target on his back because he's not.
Well, you can't call a man a mofo and an SOB and then talk about you going to stay in the game.
Well, yeah, you can't do that. You definitely can't do that. But I think once the playoffs start, they understand the ramifications of if they get a technical foul. They're smart enough players, not only on the basketball court, but off the court, to know that I can't allow this to happen.
I hope so.
So, yeah, I don't. They are vulnerable, but again, I think they're way more dangerous. And with Boogie Cousins, it's just a different dynamic. If their shots aren't falling, like, for example, how Houston went 27 straight threes and missed them, right? If they're missing shots, they got guys that could go to the block. You don't have to just go to Boogie Cousins, and you could go to KD.
Yes.
And KD could go from the block, or he could go from the elbow. So you could. That's tough, man.
If Chris Paul stays healthy last year, are they going down?
I believe they beat him. I believe the Rockets beat him.
But you don't know. It sounds good, but Chris Paul, what if he doesn't have a great game? Or he does have a great game. I mean, you see, it's just all speculation. It gives him a better chance, I think.
Yeah, he just needs, he would have provided that stability.
Right, with 11 threes, 12, 13, 14, hold up. Let's try to get something going to the basket.
Let's slow this thing down. Instead of speeding up the tempo to come down and jack up more threes quicker.
And I'm telling you what, though, I played in D'Antoni's system. It's easier said than done to change what you've been doing all season long. And that's the thing is if everybody feels like everybody has a green light. Right, and so what happened with the 27 threes, you missed your three, I missed one. It don't come back to me for another 5 minutes, so I'm going to jack mine thinking I'm going to get this going. Right. And that's what ends up happening because everybody believes that I can get it going for it. And the coach puts that faith in them like you can do it. So they have to be careful with that. So it's a gift and a curse what they do. You got to be careful. It's a fine line.
Wow.
So I think I got a little gift last night when Houston fell a slot because you know what my dream scenario is.
Oh, you got Denver.
Huh?
You got the Nuggets.
So what if we, as in San Antonio, beat Denver? Is that possible? Sure,
Yes.
it's possible. Next up would probably be the Thunder. Don't know that for sure, but could we beat the Thunder? Sure, we could beat the Thunder. And guess what? Meanwhile, Houston could be beating Golden State because we can't beat Golden State. We got no shot against Golden State.
Y'all can't beat Houston either.
We are a bad matchup. We can beat Houston.
That's your dream scenario right there.
Yes, we could beat the Rockets in the finals because James would be like,
Y'all not going to the finals.
I don't know if he'll choke. Really, what I'm worried about with James, I don't think he's on the choke. I think, has risen to the occasion this year. Like, if he doesn't go on this historic run, they're probably not even in the playoffs. We're talking about them like how we've been talking about the Lakers. So I don't think that's going to affect him. I'm more worried about the first thing that goes is your jump shot when fatigue kicks in because your legs is gone. I want to watch that. Is this jumper going to start getting short? Is fatigue going to kick in because he's logged a lot of minutes? He's carried a lot of the workload. So is he going to be physically 100%
I would agree with
going
that.
in? So that's the one thing that I'm worried about.
When you're going for 60 every night, it just takes a lot out of him, man.
But Skip, they let him
And he played a whole lot better defense this year, too.
He did.
But also, they let him play more. He's not going to be shooting 21 free throws in the playoffs a game like he's been shooting.
You never know, man. It depends
know
on
what
which
they call
what refs you get. Okay. I mean, some refs. I mean,
they don't call that touch stuff. They don't call when you look at him and let him go to the free throw line in the playoffs. You got to literally foul it.
Well, he is James Harden, and they tend to lean towards superstars and try to keep it.
Well, then LeBron don't get that treatment. I'm glad you said
know why?
that.
We know why LeBron doesn't get that treatment. It's kind of like Shaq. It's hard to ref him because you like, is he running the dude over? But he has the right to that. But he's actually crashing through people. You know what I mean? But it should be a block, but it looks like a charge because it's.
I was looking at Dr. James Naismith, the guy that invented the game of basketball, and they don't say anything about size being a determining factor when you call a foul.
But the human side of the referees, that's what happens. They tend to. I mean, look how they go.
I'm human too. Call that foul and let me shoot my 20 free throw. If he was shooting free throw Harden, he might be 15 or 20. Skip, he might do 80%.
It'd be times in the game you might hold on a block, right, and they let you get away with that because you Shannon Sharpe.
LeBron James has created no love from the referees because he belly aches too much and he hot dogs too much, and they don't like it. One thing about James, he doesn't hot dog at all.
Yes, he does.
He does not. He never hot dogs. He just plays. He just plays.
James Harden don't complain. One night the dude shot 4 free throws and he complained. The previous night he had shot 18. How you gonna complain?
Because he didn't get his 18. He looking for.
See, that's what I'm saying about Bron. They don't call it, but that's okay. LeBron don't complain.
He's just Bron's tough to ref.
He don't complain.
He doesn't complain because right now he's irrelevant.
No, Skip, don't say that. You know that's not true. LeBron James is irrelevant. Really?
Well, he's
The team he on
relevant
is-
in Hollywood. I don't know.
He's relevant in the NBA. He's still the face.
Is he?
Still the face.
They on his heels.
Yeah.
That's why nobody wants to do that movie with him, man. They feel like we
Exactly.
we equal now.
No,
they feel like we either even with LeBron right now or he's in arm's distance. And hey, you know what?
Let me ask you a question. If they were equal, why didn't Warner Brothers call them?
Well, look, I mean, we ain't talking about none of this. Has probably been in the works for a long time.
Yeah.
And when LeBron was the top, they went after the top. This been in works for a long time. They've been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the time that they were talking about, LeBron was the guy to go to.
He still is.
They reaching out to Giannis.
Still is. Still is.
They reaching out to Giannis, KD. They reaching out to them cats that's clipping on his heels. They on his heels, Shannon. Keep it 100.
We got me. It is.
And you know how it is. If they smell blood out there, they coming.
Blood.
They coming.
Blood in the
That's what we
water.
want them to.
They supposed to, yeah.
That's what we do.
I want to see the reboot.
That's how we set the trap.
I want to see the reboot.
If you want to catch a tiger, what you do? You get your best goat and you sit him out there. And you sit in the weeds and wait. That's what we did this year. We got injured. We laid that trap. And everybody
I thought he was a
thought.
lion.
And everybody thought.
They got
Good
him a
stuff
tiger.
today.
And guess what? And guess what?
Yeah,
They gonna come.
you know what? Tiger's like one step down
No,
from a lion.
tigers are bigger than a lion.
No, I think I'm taking the lion.
Moving on, Eddie. Thanks for being here. Good stuff today.
It
Appreciate
depends on
it.
where you are.
We're
You're
talking
Indian.
Antonio Brown. Is he
Tiger.
going to be a pain in the butt in Oakland? Yep. One former coach says this, not me. We'll discuss it.
No, he won't.
No mercy.
Antonio Brown is arguably the best receiver in the NFL, but his reputation is taking a big hit. AB is a Raider now, but he's been calling out former Steeler teammates, including Juju Smith-Schuster, on his way out the door. Here's what former head coach Jack Del Rio said about AB. I love the talent, but Antonio Brown has clearly shown that he's going to be a pain in the ass. He's a very talented guy, and I would love to have him. I would work with him, no problem. If players have talent, you tend to tolerate it a little bit unless it becomes disruptive to your team. If he continues doing the things he's been doing, just like he upset the Steelers, he's going to upset the next team he is on. FS1 NFL analyst Sean Merriman joining us today. I saw you shaking your head during that. Some heavy words from Jack Del Rio. Will AB be a problem in Oakland?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he was right about that. He was also right that they're going to tolerate it as long as he keep producing on the field. That's never going to be an issue. You know, to me, Antonio Brown, all the things he's done lately, I can tell you which one is the absolute worst for me. It's not going at Juju over social media. It's not even throwing the ball at Ben Roethlisberger. The worst thing he's done so far was go live on live stream with his coach in the locker room talking.
Agreed.
Because it's a reason why the media isn't allowed in their 15 minutes when the guys get back in the locker room, because the coaches and the players say and do things that the media isn't allowed to hear. So when you do that, to me, that's the ultimate cardinal sin. So anything worse than that, it really don't get worse than that. So the Oakland Raiders already knew what they were getting.
Yeah,
they understand that. Antonio Brown, if he stays one of the top 3 wide receivers in the National Football League, I don't care what he does. As long as he doesn't do anything off the field to get arrested or get in trouble or do something that's going to take him away from him playing football, they're going to tolerate any and everything. So he's right. I don't care what he does. Coaches, and even if he's disruptive to the team and the teammates don't like him, if he go out there and he's top 3 wide receiver, anybody going to deal with it, because you know what? There's been more players in the National Football League who's done worse things that still got another opportunity to play football.
What you mean going to be a problem? Hell, he already a problem. He tweeting. He got this going on. He's got his money. He's happy. He's away from Ben. He's away from Juju. He's away from Coach Tomlin and his teammates that he feel stabbed him in the back by voting Juju MVP. He's away from that. But what's he wants to do? Turn around and talk about his time there and tweet at tweet at Juju.
Yep.
Here's the problem, and Jack is absolutely right. I know Jack very well, played against Jack. The thing is, even though you say he's top 3 receiver, hell, he was top 3 last year. And guess what? Pittsburgh got tired of it. They said enough is enough. We don't get another 100-catch season, another 1,200-yard season, 15 touchdowns. For a third and a fifth. Odell went for a 1 and a third, and Odell ain't had these kind of seasons that this kid's put up. But you see, they say Mike Tomlin's famous quotes, we'll tolerate you until we can replace you. I don't know if they replaced him, but they could no longer tolerate his behavior. It was becoming dangerous. It was becoming poisonous into the locker room. And he said, you know what? I'd rather go 8-8 than go 11-5 with him because we missed the playoffs with him. We could damn sure miss the playoffs without him.
That is correct. So it sounds like Jack Del Rio is auditioning for your job. Every other day there's another big TV blast from Jack Del Rio.
Right.
Wow.
He's saying a lot these days.
So I spent time around Jack Del Rio when he was a player. I spent a whole lot of time around John Gruden in his first incarnation in Oakland and then when he was at ESPN. So I feel like I have a pretty good feel for both of them. You played against Jack Del Rio, and the big difference between Jack and John is Jack was a really good football player. He was a big All-American at USC, and John was a backup quarterback at
Played catch on the baseball team called Randy Johnson.
Jack Del Rio. He
Yes.
was a really good baseball player. Good point.
Yes.
But here's the difference between those two. Jack Del Rio was, to me, much more of a player's coach.
He was.
Jack Del Rio has a level of patience that John Gruden never had.
Correct.
Because Jack Del Rio appreciates greatness. If you have the gift of playing football at whatever position, he will tolerate it a little longer than John will tolerate your misbehavior.
Yes.
John Gruden is a little bit of a frustrated former player who never could do anything. And he gets resentful quickly of star players who don't live up to their gift.
Right.
Whatever they, how can you behave like that when you got that?
Right.
I never had that, but I never acted like you act.
Right.
So he's quickly out on you. He is quick to overreact to stars. He's going to be very quick. His blood pressure is going to rise quickly with AB on his practice field. I know he practices hard, but he's also got all kinds of other stuff going on because he's gone over the edge into social media.
Right. And the thing, he has no repercussions for 2 years. He got
Yep.
$30 million guaranteed.
Okay.
So it's hard to get off somebody with that kind of money guaranteed. It was easy for the Steelers because it's like, you know what? We got no more money going out.
Yeah.
It's just dead money on the cap.
Okay.
He got $30 million guaranteed.
And I'll tell you the difference, too, with Jack Del Rio and John Gruden. Jack Del Rio is not going to throw you under the bus.
Right.
Jack Del Rio has never came out. If anything, even when guys were in the wrong in the past, he would come out and say, you know what, this was my fault. I take responsibility. He never threw a guy under the bus.
Right.
John Gruden will. John Gruden will
And
throw
drive over you.
Yeah, and then back up, reverse, and then do donuts on top of your body. John Gruden will do that. You can talk to a lot of his former players. He's not sticking up for you because you know what? At the end of the day, if it's AB or John Gruden, AB got to go. And he will make sure of it because he's not going to stand up for you in the media. He's going to tell you whatever you guys talk about behind closed doors, tell you something different, and then right when that camera is in front of his face, he's going to throw you right under the bus. Jack Del Rio would never do that.
And plus, John Gruden got 9 more years guaranteed. AB only got 2 years fully guaranteed. So who's going to be there for the long haul, Skip?
Good point.
John Gruden is assured of going to Las Vegas.
So why did they need Antonio Brown? This is just me. I think they needed him more off the field than on the field because they needed his star power.
Correct.
He's a big star,
Yes.
man.
Sure.
It's a star league.
Yeah, he is
Okay.
himself.
If you're getting ready to leave and go to a locale that's unfamiliar with NFL football, you need. Oh, they got Antonio
take
Brown.
it.
Oh, they got him. Oh, they got him. You can't go there with. No disrespect, Seth Roberts, but Seth Roberts is not selling tickets.
You're right about that. I'm convinced that Mark Davis, the owner, son of the great Al Davis, I'm convinced he gets this enough that he said, we need to pay the freight on this. We need to give him a new deal because we need him to sell our franchise in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And how long will John sit still for this? Because you got to put up with the whole package.
Yes.
Okay.
You knew that coming in, Skip. You knew that Lions are real cuddly when they're Cubs. But see, he done turned into a full grown.
Now you're talking about Lions.
So you know he gonna buy something. He got to nip you at some point in time. That's just the way it goes. You can't be an animal trainer and not get bitten at some point in time. That's just the way it is. So you know AB gonna act up. It's just to what level and what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I want to see all that change from him saying that AB was one of the hardest working guys in wide receivers. And all the things he said about him positive when he wasn't his player. I want to see all the things he say about him when he
Skip
coached.
I said it all the time. Oh, man, I take Johnny Manziel. I just take Johnny Manziel and I wouldn't look back. Oh, it's easy to say when you ain't got to coach Johnny Manziel and got to worry about him coming to the meeting after leaving the club 20 minutes earlier. It's easy to coach somebody else's player.
Yep.
Get him in your locker room and talk about, ooh, boy, what a doozy he is, the coach. I love it.
But
Works
John was
hard.
also right about this. He said, give me Tim Tebow because he'll gut you.
Yeah, he gutted.
Crunch time, he will gut
he'll
you.
gut your team. You ain't gonna win no games.
Game day just
Stop.
once a week. What are they going to do
I
all
wish
the other
I wish
hours?
he brought that
quoting.
prowess. I wish he brought that prowess to $1 Million Mile.
Yeah.
And don't tell him what that thing might be in
Really?
prime time on a Monday night.
Maybe it was a bad idea.
Don't
from
do
the
that.
executive
What
producer.
Who knows what it was? Well, how about a new good idea around here? Sean has a new MMA league.
Oh.
I want to talk to you about it. Lights Out Extreme Fighting.
Ooh.
Tell us, what should we know?
Yeah, well, I think that people knew about my, love in combat sports and being around the sport for practically the last 15 years of my life. And Lights Out Extreme Fighting, we got our first event coming May 11th on Fox Sports West and Prime Tickets. You can get tickets at lightsoutxf.com. And I'm excited, man. I know it's been some talk about me actually getting in the cage. And the truth is, there are a couple guys that I'll go and start training for to get in the cage. But right now, that's not what we plan on doing. I want to give the other fighters and kind of promote the other guys and promote the fight. But if the right person step up, and that right person know who I am, because I've called him out a few times, if he steps up and accepts it, then I'll get in the cage.
Okay,
You ready to
but
put
not
them
on
hands on
opening,
it, huh?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Not on opening night. Then.
Not an opening night. I mean, I need some time now.
Like, May 11th is pretty soon. I mean,
Yeah, May 11th is a little too soon. So the tickets are on sale now. Lightsoutxf.com, May 11th at the Burbank Event Center.
Way to go.
Thank you.
Very
Appreciate
cool. All right, we'll be watching.
You're not 265, so you're okay. Heavyweight.
Now, I'll drop 20. I wouldn't.
Drop 20?
245?
Yeah. Yeah, I can drop 20. No problem.
But to maintain strength, too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it don't take one.
Thank you for joining us, Sean. Good luck with everything. We're going to switch gears back to the Lakers. If they're actually going to keep Rob Pelinka as their GM, why? What's the deal? We'll tell you next.
No mercy.
And let's get to the drama here in LA. Magic Johnson's shocking decision to step down as the Lakers president on Tuesday left a lot more questions than answers. LeBron was reportedly stunned by the news, and Magic reportedly wanted to fire not only Luke Walton, but also GM Rob Pelinka. But now that Magic is gone, ESPN reports that Pelinka will not only stay as the GM, but, quote, if anything, his power will grow. We're joined by Bleacher Report senior writer Rick Bucher.
Welcome.
Busy since we've had you here last. Rick, I'm going to start with you. Are you surprised that the Lakers will keep Pelinka?
No, because they don't really have much of a choice at this point. They are on the eve of going after big fish and finding that other prize. They can't be hitting the reset right now. I also don't believe that Magic going was as much of a surprise to Jeannie Buss as we all thought initially. I believe this is ultimately what she wanted to have happen because she realized, and this is going back and I've been told this, when Magic came down on D'Angelo Russell and said, he's not a leader and I need leaders, all the players around the league took note of that. Because we think of Magic, having watched him play, the legend of Magic. The players in the league today, the age of the players in the league today, they're not aware of that. They know him more as a Dodgers owner, part owner, than they do as a legendary player.
Magic Johnson theaters. Starbucks.
Exactly.
Wow, though, that's interesting.
So when he said that, they were like, that did as much damage as anything to the idea that they were going to be able to attract a player to the Lakers. Jeannie had to know that. And I believe that she forced his hand. When she said, you can't fire Rob Pelinka, the timing of it, how he did it, that may have been a surprise. That Magic ultimately decided to go, I don't think it was it either. We're talking about a woman who was able to excise her brother from control of the team, her brother who was anointed by their father to run the team.
She had to go to court to do that.
She's Khaleesi. She's the mother of all dragons. Everybody else is going down, and she looks sweet, and you think that, she's a nice woman. She's a survivor. She is way smarter than we're giving her credit for. And the whole thing where it's the emojis, thank you so much, Magic, of course. Because in the big picture, Magic is still beloved by Laker Nation. It doesn't serve her to gut Magic on the way out. She got exactly what she wanted.
Okay, so they had a session on Monday,
3 hours.
just the two of them, reportedly. And you think Magic got the message that you're on the hottest seat.
There's no question about that. She did a podcast, I believe it was Sports Business Radio, and she talked about how she had discovered some things about the people that were working for her that came as a surprise and a disappointment. I believe what happened with Magic was one of those things.
Interesting. It was reported in that same podcast, she says when they asked her about Luke Walton, she said she would defer to Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson. It was also reported earlier in the year that Magic wanted to fire Luke Walton, and Jeannie said no. So is Magic hearing you telling me I have all this power and stuff that's under my purview, but I'm not allowed to fire Rob? I'm not allowed to fire Luke Walton. So it's how much power did I have? And he just hit the deuce button.
Yes, from what I understand, yes. But Jeannie knew that was going to be the result.
That would get Magic to step away.
Absolutely, she knew what the end game was, and so that's how she set it up. Now the timing of Luke being fired around the All-Star break, trade deadline, right around there, that was more a factor of LeBron and Rich Paul, and Jeannie couldn't figure out. People were controlling her franchise, and it wasn't her, but she couldn't figure out exactly who was behind it. She was, before we make any more moves, I'm not. Let's hold fire, because again, the trading of Julius Randle, the way D'Angelo Russell was handled. There's a lot of things that have happened that Jeannie said, "You got it," that she, in hindsight, was not happy with.
Wow.
Yet there are rampant reports that Rob Pelinka is not loved around the league. In fact, that he burned many bridges to the ground as an agent and set many on fire that continue to smolder.
Skip.
Okay?
He betrayed a blind man. Gordon Gunn, the owner of the Cavaliers, with Carlos Boozer.
He gave him his word. He's going to let him opt out of the contract.
Yes.
He's going to let him opt out.
Okay.
He's going to
resign.
You're right. But yet, at least Jeannie had a good cop, quote unquote, and a bad cop. She had Magic to be able to get phone calls returned to the Lakers. Now she just has a bad cop. I'm pretty sure she just eliminated a lot of A-list potential CEOs for her company. You know, if you're going to try to go get Jerry West or Pat Riley, this could be all pie in the sky.
Yeah.
R.C. Buford, Sam Presti, Bob Myers. Like, they're just going to look at Rob Pelinka and say, I don't want to work with that. If Magic couldn't work with it, I don't even want to start with it, because I want full control. So where does Jeannie, what's her exit strategy now? Because it looks to me like, because Linda Rambis now has achieved quite a measure of power in the organization as sort of a vice president to Jeannie. Kurt Rambis, obviously is beloved as a Laker. Is it possible he just gets elevated into the president category?
I've been told that she will stay within the Lakers family.
Okay.
And Rob
That's the problem.
Well, it is. I agree. Rob Pelinka is part of that Lakers family because he's basically the proxy for Kobe.
Yep.
So now, I don't believe that this is Rob Pelinka's job and away we go. The referendum on Rob Pelinka will be this summer. And the big fish that Jeannie Buss wants is Kawhi Leonard.
Really?
If they get Kawhi Leonard, then I think that Rob, yes, has more power, he controls. But this is what's so beautiful about this.
Okay, time out real quick. Bigger fish than Kevin Durant?
They know Kevin Durant's not.
Really? They think it's no way.
That's not happening.
All right.
I mean, Kawhi Leonard, and then you look at all of the other free agents, they're not of that caliber. Kawhi and KD are on a level unto themselves.
Right.
So that's going to be the referendum as to whether Rob keeps the job. Does he get Kawhi? And what makes this so delicious in this LA arena, almost as good as you two talking about LeBron, is you're going to have a battle between Steve Ballmer and Jeannie Buss. Because Steve Ballmer has made it clear that Kawhi Leonard is the one that he wants. And he has put all his resources toward that. He also has Jerry West as a consultant. If there was anybody that Jeannie was going to go to, and this has been discussed, it's just a matter of there's still a lot of bad blood involving Jerry West within the Lakers organization. And so would love to make a lot of sense. His son is still working there. You could have a succession plan. I mean, there's a lot that would make sense for bringing Jerry back. But can you extricate him from the Clippers? What would it cost? Would Ballmer even allow that to happen? I don't know what his contract looks like, but that's where we are. We have a battle of the two LA teams over some of the same
It was
resources.
Jeannie and Phil who sort of pushed Jerry into the sunset and out the back door. So how would Jerry forgive and forget, even though he's a Laker at heart, obviously?
That would be it. And it would be, and I haven't heard this, but his son is there as a director of personnel.
Elevate him.
If you said to Jerry, we're going to have a succession plan.
Yeah.
We want you to come in and run it, and we want you to groom Ryan, and he's going to be moving forward. If I'm Jerry West and somebody offers that to me,
How do you say
That's what
no?
he do. Yeah.
And if I'm Steve Ballmer, I say, not over my dead body. Right?
Well, unfortunately, my son is not in this organization, and you're not going to elevate him, so I'm going to the place.
So
because again, we all going to do what's in the best interest of the kids. You make sure you go to the best school, get into the best colleges. We see this college scandal going on. We're going to make sure we get it to the right place. We want our son to follow in our footsteps. What better way? Jerry West, he built the Showtime Lakers. He built the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. And now son is following in dad's footsteps and going to build them again. That's what we're going to do for you.
So of all the things Rick Bucher just told us, the one that made me the sickest was that guy who quit. He quit on the San Antonio Spurs and talked his way right out of small market San Antonio. And he went up to Toronto and he said, well, maybe I'll stay, but maybe I won't. Yeah. And he's going to wind up in the catbird seat in L.A. with a bidding war between the two franchises?
Well, they both can offer the same amount of money.
Well, I know,
He
but
can get, a 4-year deal for about $160 million, little 170.
But one will say, our red carpet is deeper than your red carpet. We'll give you more perks.
I mean, when you're growing up, how many people, if you're growing up and you're an NBA, are you a diehard fan, I want to play in the NBA, how many people say, you know what, man, I can really see myself donning the red and white of the Clippers or the purple and gold of the Lakers?
Yeah. Again.
This guy's a weird dude.
Who's got less drama right now, though?
We ain't gonna have no drama. We get Kawhi, we'd be no drama.
We'd
be drama-free with Kawhi.
He loves drama, too.
Timing is everything. And obviously, Kawhi is in the perfect spot because we said KD's accounted for. Everybody else isn't on his level. He's the guy.
We take Kyrie.
This is what Kawhi wanted.
Kyrie,
this
we
was
take
the plan
Kyrie.
all along.
You would?
Yeah, we take on.
But you said you take Kimba.
No, I'm saying no.
That was when you were really desperate.
No. Yeah. We take, KD, Kawhi, Kyrie. That's the order in that which we would go.
And then where's Kemba?
Kemba might be next.
Somewhere in the mix.
Don't hate on Kemba.
No.
Kemba actually would be a good fit.
Oh, Kemba
with LeBron.
Did you see him last night?
I saw him lose and miss the playoffs.
Okay. He'd be killing the Hornets like they got just like this dearth of talent.
They're in the East and they missed the playoffs again, sub 500.
Who did he work
Detroit made the playoffs at 41 and 41.
But they got 2 All-Stars.
You impressed?
They got 2 All-Stars.
Detroit?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a team that not missing the playoffs. Can anyone dethrone the Warriors? That's what we need to talk about next. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
NBA playoffs get underway this weekend. The Warriors are a huge 1-3 favorite to win the West, and they'll host the Clippers in the first round. But Golden State could have a tough matchup with the Rockets in round 2. Steph Curry did not play last night after hurting his ankle on Tuesday, but he should be fine for the playoffs. Rick Bucher is still with us. So, hey, the playoffs are starting. We've been talking about this. But in your opinion, who has the best shot to beat the Warriors in the West?
Whoever gets them last. Because it's to me at this point with the Warriors, it is a matter of attrition.
Okay.
And so if the way the brackets work out, if it's Oklahoma City in a 7-game series at the very end of this, after Houston takes a piece out of them, after the Clippers take a piece out of them, then I see that potential. Honestly, it's hard for me to imagine anyone that is capable. I can't point to that one team as of right now that is going to knock them off. But Oklahoma City does match up with them on the perimeter.
I agree with that.
Which is where their strength. With Dennis Schroeder, with Russ Westbrook, with Paul George, not only can you defend all of them, but you can make Steph, Clay, and KD all guard somebody. And that's as important as anything. But ultimately, I think it's a matter of attrition. And then, unlike last year, where they got through the West, they squeaked through the West. And then, it's the Cavs. Whew, we can exhale and we can finish the deal. Now they could potentially face the toughest team at the end of that Western Conference road, which is why I'm not one of those optimists that we're going to see a three-peat.
So who do you like in the East? The last time you were on, you did not like Philly and
Milwaukee.
yeah.
Yes. I mean, I like Toronto and Boston. I'm going to stay with Boston. I know there are issues there. I am hoping that cooler heads will prevail and the cliques will go away and they will put aside their personal agendas and they will come together and play, because I believe that they have all the experience and the pieces. They have all of it. But short of that, if it's not Boston, I like Toronto. I like their defense. I like their length. I like their experience. And again, I just believe that they have the wherewithal to make things difficult, not only difficult on the Warriors offensively, but they have enough scorers that are going to make difficult matchups.
Because to your point, those two teams could get Golden State last in the finals, right?
Exactly.
They would have the best shot.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I think one of the biggest keys for the Warriors is that you have to have someone that can make Steph Curry guard all the time, because he really wants to rest on defense. Because normally, if you look at the point guard, if he can play, Klay grabs him. And so now, if Klay takes James Harden, let's say second round, that means he's going to have to deal with Chris Paul. Well, Chris Paul's going to go at him. That's what Russ does to Steph. He goes at him, because now you got to put Klay on Paul George, because you're definitely not going to put Steph Curry on Paul George. You got to make him work, Skip. You can't let him lunch on the defensive end. Make him exert some energy, zap some of that. Now, it's a great luxury to fall. A great fallback is to have Kevin Durant. Is that a guy that can go average 30 for any series, maybe 35, 38 in a series. What I'm so impressed about Klay Thompson, and I think it goes so unnoticed, Skip, is that he always has the toughest defensive assignment, and he still gives you 20 points.
And do you know he's never been on an all-defensive team? You think about that will change.
Or a first team? Or just
he's
any
never
team?
been named to an all-defensive team. That's a major oversight.
And he always
for
got the toughest. He always
No
got the
question.
toughest defensive assignment.
Wow.
So the real answer to this question, the biggest threat to Golden
Don't
State
say it.
is Golden State.
Oh, okay.
Well, it just is.
I thought you were going to say the other team.
No.
In San Antonio.
I'm not going to go yet.
It's not going there yet.
Oh, wait. You were not going to go there.
Well, I do like the way it fell, because all of a sudden a weird occurrence happened in
it down.
Portland last night, where their subs came back from 28 down to beat Sacramento subs, and it knocked Houston down a peg. And sometimes those pegs can really have ramifications through this bracket. And all of a sudden, Houston plays Golden State second round, and San Antonio gets Denver, probably gets Oklahoma City, and then what if Houston knocks them off? Look, Houston can make a strong case here. They won 3 out of 4, and the one game that Golden State did win at Houston, there was no Kevin Durant. And it felt like they were making a statement. If you have 2 feet out the door, we'll show you what we can do tonight. Well, the team has internal issues, because he does have 2 feet out the door. And he and Draymond have an uneasy truce. It's a truce, but it's uneasy. And DeMarcus Cousins has never played a single playoff game in his life, and now they're kind of revolving around DeMarcus. And it's working since the All-Star break, but it's new and different. And when you get pushed and shoved in the postseason, are you going to be able to lean back on DeMarcus? Is he going to be there for you? Is he going to implode and explode? I don't know, because it's new, it's different, and they lost 8 games this year by 20-plus points. That's one bad sign after another. I'm sorry, they're vulnerable, and Houston believes they can beat them. They had them down and nearly out last year, and Chris pulls his hamstring. Okay, so you don't think they could beat them in 7 games? I do.
I do. But I wouldn't put no money. I mean, if any money that I would bet would be mine, and my money means something to me. I wouldn't put no money down to Houston beat them.
We sure have lost a lot of money to me.
Yeah, I did lost the cut, but I get it back. I get it back. Go get it back this
I think
series.
you're down and nearly out.
I might get some on the nugget.
Really?
I go get some of this
Oh,
old
you
nug.
want a
Them old
piece of
nugs.
that?
I might.
Want a piece of it?
I got to see how it shapes up.
What are we waiting on?
I got game 1. I got the Nuggets in game 1.
Do you? Oh, that's really going out on a limb. Denver?
Denver hadn't been to the playoffs in a long time. They don't know what it's like to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. San Antonio went to Denver like 10 days ago and lost by 28. So you're bold. Bold prediction.
Y'all got LaMarcus. Y'all got LaMarcus Aldridge and Derek White. Remember, Derek White played unbelievable
Derek
basketball.
White, first team point guard all defense, says Kevin Pelton. Who knows what he's talking about?
Nah, he shouldn't be.
First team.
Pat
all
Beverly
defense.
was voted by the players.
No, first team.
Pat Beverly.
The Spurs now go as Derek White goes.
No, they go as LaMarcus Aldridge.
No, sorry, you're wrong about that.
LaMarcus had 34 last night, Skip.
Who took over in the fourth quarter and saved their bacon last night because Dirk and them made a run at him? It was Derek White. Here we go.
Here we go. This is what we do around here.
I'm hearing echoes of Tim Tebow. I don't know what it is. But
Everybody knows.
Comes up once in a while, a few repeats. Rick, great insight today. Really interesting stuff. Thanks for being here. Tom Brady back to being a comedian, Shannon. Me and Skip love it. Well, this time,
here we go.
We do. And we'll show you the video next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Tom Brady won his record 6th Super Bowl a couple months ago, and now he's reminding everybody about it on Instagram. Let's take a listen.
Confetti. No. Did we keep the other confetti? Confetti. No. Did we keep the other confetti?
Just a lot of confetti. Shannon, do you like, love, or hate?
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of these stage gigs. You know, it's just for perspective. I happened to play in a few Super Bowls, and I don't remember.
Well, just a couple.
And I just played a couple.
Not nine.
I just played in a couple of them, and I don't know. I need to go back. I'm gonna sue the NFL because I never had confetti left in my helmet. Now I'm gonna fault the training staff because they normally go in and clean that, but that's not. Skip, you need to stop now. This is getting ridiculous, Skip.
No, it's not.
All this attention seeking.
No,
You're Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You won 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
You played in 9. And this is the kind of stuff that you got to post? Really, Tom?
Yeah. By the way, I got some confetti.
You ain't got nothing
confetti.
whatever.
in here.
Yeah.
I got
Stop.
confetti is left over from yesterday. When I
For what?
won
What you
again.
celebrating?
You know what I loved about this? This, for once, he wasn't clowning. This wasn't some corny April Fool's joke. He was just stating a fact.
Where are the cameras?
It's just like confetti.
I remember, normally when I walk out in front of my house, I have a camera. That's what I do. I go to my truck, I got a camera.
Yeah.
Just Skip, you stop this. This is ridiculous.
Hey, when you're the greatest football player ever, you can do whatever you want.
He ain't the greatest football player ever.
Yes, he
No,
is.
he's not.
He is.
Jerry Rice and Lawrence
please.
Taylor said I need to have a word with you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, any GM in the history
I
of this
don't
league
care
would
what they
say,
say.
I think I'll take Brady over those guys.
Skip, but stop it now. This is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
Jenny.
I love it. I think, Skip, we should end every show like this. We got
You know
riled up.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.